I've done washing up, I've done cleaning, I've done all of it in different establishments. And I think working in different establishments at different levels, it gives you the foundation, and it gives you the basis of how you can adapt to certain times that you're living in. So one of my main talk today is about reshaping the mind, reshaping the mindset. And the reason why I want to talk about it, because number one, when I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, I didn't know what diabetes was. Many people now know what diabetes was, but I didn't. Yeah, there's only two things I knew about diabetes when I was diagnosed. Number one, when my friend's mother was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and when I went to see her, she said that the sugar get me. Yeah, and when she said the sugar get me, that means they talk about diabetes in the Caribbean. And the reason why they say the sugar get me is because they don't want to mention the word diabetes, for the simple fact that means death. Yeah, in the Caribbean, you got diabetes, that means you're on your way to dying, full stop. The other time that I came across the word diabetes was my cousin Ken, who I mentioned in the book, who was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Yeah, he became diabetic through stress related. And he's the main person that, number one, put me in a position to write the book, yeah, and number two, told me about the side effects of taking medication with diabetes. I'm just going to give you one simple sample of a day that I had when I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Like, I'm a Caribbean background, so I grew up on hard-dough bread. Yeah, hard-dough bread, and I know many of you love your hard-dough bread. I did, and I still do, but I don't eat it like I used to. I only eat it on special occasions now, when I'm with family or when I'm with my mother, because my mother still likes it sometimes, and she has an urge for it sometimes, because she doesn't eat it all the time. So it's like a celebration, you know, of breaking bread with her or with certain family. So my journey in the morning, I don't live in London. I lived outside London. So I had to prepare my breakfast for my journey into London in the morning, because it would take me about an hour, hour and a half, depending on what time I left in the morning to go to work in the morning. So I'd have 3 slices of hard-dough bread. I put my butter on it, yeah, and then I put jam on it, yeah. I taste the bread. If I didn't think it had enough jam on it, I put more jam on, and that was normal. On top of that, I had a coffee of latte, yeah, and the latte was a coffee, and it was processed, and it had sugar and milk in it as well. Powdered milk, which is processed, and it had sugar in it as well. So when you just pour the water or the hot milk in it, it's ready to go. And that was the latte. And I used to love my latte like that. But on top of that latte, I always added 2 to 3 teaspoons of brown sugar, and it was Demerara sugar, because Demerara sugar is supposed to be more healthier for you. That's why I used to add the sugar. And on top of that, during the summertime, for some reason, I always used to get a cold. My nose was itching, my throat was itching, my eyes was running. I think, why have I got a cold in the summertime? Why have I got a cold in the summertime? And one day I said to my friend, listen, man, I got this cold. I'm fed up with this cold. Every year I get a cold this time of the year. He goes, Lyndon, you got hay fever. I said to him, what do you mean you got hay fever? He said, yeah, you got hay fever. So what I done, I looked up the symptoms for hay fever. And when I looked up symptoms of hay fever, it was exactly what I was suffering from. And as I'm a person who likes to know what the cure is, I don't want a remedy to stop it. I want a remedy to stop it totally, to cure it. So what I'd find is that the best way to cure your hay fever was to get local honey. So you get hay fever from the local honey, yeah, because of the pollen that comes with the flowers in that area. So I lived in a country, yeah, so where I lived, I got farms around me. So it was easy for me to go to a farm, yeah, or a farm shop and get honey. The only issue that I had, once when I went there, I could get a small bottle, but it had a big price. And I'm thinking to myself, how long am I going to carry on eating the honey for at this small bottle with a high price? And we're not used to it, yeah? So what I started to do was look for the bigger bottle with a smaller price. And that's how psychologically we think, you know, because you don't want to spend too much money on your Pure sometimes. You want to find a cheaper version. So this is what I do. I start to add honey to my coffee in the morning. So just think, 3 slices of toast, bread, with the hard-boiled bread, with the jam on it, the latte coffee with the sugar and the honey. Just think how much sugar just is in that on itself. So I'd have that on the way to work. Once I got to work, I'm working on the pastry section now. And on the pastry section, we're preparing cakes. So what we normally do, we prepare cakes for events. And what we do, we got to cut each cake into same size portions. And what we'd have to do, we'd have to trim all the edges off of the cakes, yeah, to get it like a square or a rectangle. And then we cut the portions. So what I'd be doing, I'd take the trimmings. What do you think I'll do the trimmings? Yes, I'll be eating the trimmings. I'll put them in a bowl in front of me. And that bowl was my bowl. Nobody else is supposed to come into that area. Nobody's supposed to come and touch that bowl. It's funny how the mind works, yeah? Because this is my trimmings, my trimmings, my cake. And if someone would say, do you want a tea? Do you want a coffee? And I'd say, yeah, I'll have a tea or coffee. So they'll bring me a tea or coffee. And what I'd have in it, I'd have my sugar in it. And then I'd add my honey on top of that as well. Just think. And that was for breakfast and when I got to work. At work, at lunchtime, one of 3 things would happen. They'll either feed you or they won't feed you, yeah, or you got to go out and buy something. If you go out and buy something, it's normally a free meal deal or a takeaway. If they're going to feed you in the kitchen, it's going to be a pasta, rice, potatoes, some fizzy drinks, and just some cheap food that they're going to offer you. Yeah. Or the third option, they don't feed you at all. You know, would you believe some kitchens you work in, they don't feed you. They don't feed you food, and they got abundance of food in there. So this is another psychological thing that we have to think about when we're working in some catering industries. Are we going to get fed on that day? And after lunch time, we've had our lunchtime. It's going to be pasta, rice, or a sandwich, whatever it is. Yeah. After lunch, we're going to have a tea break in the afternoon. And when we have that tea break, it's going to be my normal tea or coffee with the sugar and the honey. And then we're going to have some cake or some biscuits with it as well. That's tea break. After the tea break, the funny thing is, yeah, you're starting to think, okay, it's going to be time to be going home soon. Yeah, it's funny how the afternoon you think, oh, nearly time to go home, nearly time to go home. So what I've been thinking, I've got a 2-hour journey home. You know something, I think I'm going to need to get something to eat before I go home. Yeah. So what I used to do when we used to finish work about 4 or 5 o'clock, yeah, what I used to do, I used to go and get a free meal deal from the shop. And for some reason, I always get a BLT, bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. And with that always came a fizzy drink, yeah, or a chocolate bar or a crisp. So we always had the choice. So from that choice we had, yeah, I always add that on my way home. And there's some days when I'm driving home, I could hear this noise in my car, ka-ching, ching, ka-ching, ching. What's that noise in my car? So I pull over and I look in the boot. And once I look in the boot, I thought, oh man, my J2Os. I used to have cases of J2Os in my boot. Yeah. The reason why I was never an alcoholic drinker, I didn't drink alcohol. When I used to go out with my friends to the pubs, the clubs, whatever it was, or family events, I always used to drink J2O because I was addicted to J2O. And because I'm in the catering industry, I can go to a cash and carry and buy cases. So one day I went to a cash and carry just to buy some normal food stuff for an event. And on the big sign in front of you when you walk in, J2O cases, £5.20. I thought J2O, a case of 9 for £5.20. I used to buy a bottle, yeah, for £2.50, J2O. So I'm thinking, why am I spending £2.50 on a bottle when I could buy a case for £5.20 and have that at home and take that out when I need to go out with myself sometimes? So that's what I'd done. So I bought a couple of cases. So I had the cases in my car. I just left them there. And one of the things that I always done, and I don't, up to now, I still cannot comprehend why I'd done it. I used to go to the booth. I used to have a bottle opener, open one bottle there, and I used to just drink it there, like as if I was thirsty. And I'll finish a bottle there at the car and put it back in the boot, empty bottle. And then I'll take another bottle out and put it in the car with me for the rest of my journey home. And just think, I still got my free meal deal in the car already. So just think what I've had up to that period of going home, or the amount of foods that I'm having and the amount of sugars that I'm having in my system. So a lot of you may think, okay, when you get home now, if you've got a partner, a wife, a husband, and someone's preparing the food for you at home, once you get home, they're going to want you to eat again. Yeah. And because they want you to eat, what tends to happen, you can't really say no. Because if my wife cooked a nice meal for me when I got home and she said, Lyndon, your dinner's ready, I can't really say, listen, babes, you know, I've been eating all day and I don't feel like eating. She's going to say, why, is there something wrong with my food? Is it poison? What's wrong? So again, you have to eat again. So it's going to be one of two things: pasta, rice, potatoes. And on my table, I had my favorite drinks, my ginger beer and my mango juice. And that was that was my juices for when I'm eating my meals at home. So I'd have my dinner now with my drinks and everything like that. And after that, you know, all you want to do is just sit down, relax, turn the TV on, watch a bit of football, you know, or some sport. But you're sitting there, and a lot of you guys will know this, you're sitting there thinking you're watching sports, but actually you're snoozing away in front of the TV. You're snoozing, you're snoozing, you're snoozing. And the thing about it, we don't even realize we're doing it until the wife or partner nudges you and tries to wake you up. So when somebody try and wake you up out of your sleep, you say, what's going on? What's going on? You know, say, I thought you was watching football. Yeah, I'm watching football. I'm watching football. And then they say, come, go to bed, go to bed. Say, okay, I'm coming. I hope some of you resonate with this. I'm coming. But my thought says, I'm coming, but you know something? I want to drink before I go to bed. So what I do, I go to the kitchen, I make myself a cup of tea. You know what's in my tea, don't you? My sugar, and I just top it up with a little bit of honey again. And then I open the kitchen cupboard. Oh, man, couple of biscuits in there. So I'll have 3 or 4 biscuits, take that out with me, go sit on the sofa, eating my biscuits with my tea. I need a couple more biscuits. So what I do, I go back to the cupboard again. I see the pack of biscuits there. I just take all of it. I just take all of the biscuits and just go back and sit down. And by the time you know it, you finish the pack of biscuits, sitting down watching TV. And this is like 10, 12 o'clock at night, midnight. This is what you're doing. And the only reason why I tell you this, yeah, is because I didn't realize how much I was eating on a day-to-day basis, yeah, until I started to write it down. When I started to write my book, I was writing everything that I was eating every day. And when I wrote this down with my friend Darren, you know, when we started to write the book, I started to cry because I'm thinking to myself, is this what you were going through? Is this what you was eating on a day-to-day basis? And when I was diagnosed type 2 diabetes, the doctor said to me that you're diabetic, type 2. I said to him, how come I'm diabetic? What caused it? You know, this is what I needed. What caused it? And he said, too much carbohydrates, pasta, rice, potatoes, fizzy drinks, all the snacking, the biscuits, all those kind of things. And I think to myself, wow. And then that's when I realized and really thought about what I was eating without knowing about the content of carbohydrates that I was having in my day-to-day meals, snacking, picking, just eating straight after another meal. And I'm thinking about all these things, recollecting all the times when I didn't have to eat again, and I did. So this is why I tell you this story, to make you understand that we need to reshape our mindset, reshape and rethink what we're eating on a day-to-day basis from morning to night. Yeah. So when they told me, Lyndon, you are diabetic, yeah, the first thing that they done to me, they took a pinprick blood test. When they take a blood glucose test, when they do a pinprick in your finger, yeah, and they take a sample of blood and then they test it. My pinprick blood test was 15.9 and it's supposed to be 5. But at that time, it didn't mean nothing to me. Yeah, but the look at my doctor said, you're probably diabetic. So they said, we're going to do another blood test on you. So they did another blood test. The next blood test was HbAC1 blood test. The HbAC1 blood test is a blood test that monitors for the last 3 months of your blood glucose level within your system. Mine was 92 and it's supposed to be 42 and below. Yeah, 42 and below, and mine was 92. When I saw the look in my doctor's face, And she said that I'm diabetic. I'm saying to myself, what does that really mean? What does that really mean? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, what do I need to do now? My doctor said to me, okay, we have to put you onto medication to reduce your blood sugars as quickly as possible. Because I was in a danger zone. You know, I was in a danger zone. And I'm thinking to myself, no, I don't want medication, because I remember my cousin Ken telling me, Lyndon, if you ever become diabetic, don't take medication because there are side effects to it. So I couldn't understand why they want to give me medication. My cousin said there's side effects to it. I've never been on medication in entire life, apart from having a normal headache tablets from working in the kitchen, because you get a headache all the time in the kitchen. So I'm thinking to myself, do I listen to my doctor, or do I listen to my cousin Ken, who I grew up with and who's done a bit more research than I've done? And I said to my doctor, listen, can you give me the opportunity to try without medication? And my doctor looked at me and said, I don't recommend it, but we give you 3 weeks. 3 weeks to have another blood test and see where you are then. And I'm thinking to myself, okay. And I'm thinking to myself, what do I need to do now? So I spoke to my cousin Ken, and psychologically, I'm thinking to myself, what got me into this position? How did I become diabetic? Pasta, rice, potatoes, fizzy drinks, too many carbohydrates in my system. So from that day, I cut out carbohydrates in my diet. I don't recommend this for anybody to do. I'm not a medical person. If you feel you want to do something like I've done, consult with your doctor, your GP, your dietitian first. Yeah, but I got a friend, Valma James. She said to me, Lyndon, your body is your temple. And if you know your body and understand your body, there's things that you can do, to control it and to change things. So my idea was to, okay, what I'm going to do now is cut down on all my carbohydrates. And from that day, I stopped eating pasta. I stopped eating rice. I stopped eating potatoes. I cut down on meat. I went vegetarian. Yeah, okay. In a very short space of time. And what I did then, is when it came back to 25 days later, I'd reversed my diabetes, from 92 down to 77 HbA1c. With another 28 days, I went down from 77 down to 60. And that's when I started to write the book. And from 60 down to 41 I went. That's in a total of 105 days without any medication. 105 days. I done it. Reshaping of the mind. The first thing that I had to get right was my mindset. The mindset. What do I need to do and how do I need to do it? What support have I got around me, and am I going to get the right information? So I started to do my own research. I started to talk to my cousin Ken about foods, what to do. And what I started to do is he said to myself, Lyndon, do what it takes to get your blood sugars down ASAP. And the reason why, when I done some research, every 6 seconds, somebody dies from diabetes. Every 22 seconds, somebody loses a lower limb from diabetes. Every 3 minutes, there's a new diabetic person in the UK. In the UK now, there's 4.5+ million people with diabetes, and there's another million undiagnosed. Worldwide, there's 465 million people with diabetes. By 2030, they're expecting this to go up to like 560 million people with diabetes, And I had all the symptoms, but I didn't want to become one of the statistics of losing a limb, or a person that's going to potentially die. And to maintain diabetes, it can start to affect your kidneys, your liver, your heart. There's other things that will add to it as you go on. And once you understand that, it puts you in the right mindset to say, what is it going to take for me to do it? And on the front of my book, Inspired Diabetic, it says, type 2 diabetes isn't a life sentence, it's an opportunity. An opportunity. So I know some of you are thinking about it. Okay, Lyndon, so break it down for me. Break it down for me. What did you do? What did you do and how did you do it? All right, let me simplify. Number one, mindset. yeah? Programming your mind to say, okay, what do I need to do? Yeah? And one of the mindset things I think to myself, what are the consequences of me staying diabetic? I'm self-employed. Yeah, I'm self-employed. And as a chef, self-employed, if you don't work, you don't earn. Yeah? If I'm diabetic and I lose hours, I lose money. It's as simple as that. That's one of the reasons why I went on to this program. Mindset is the first thing. And get into your mind an affirmation. I can reverse my type 2 diabetes. I will reverse my type 2 diabetes. I'm in remission. I will cure myself. I will heal myself. Yeah. Type 2 diabetes is a short-term situation that I'm in. I'm doing the right things to do it. And you've got to do this day in, day out, morning, noon, and night. If you are addicted to certain sweets, drinks, cakes, whatever, you tell yourself, I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. And have something healthier. So coming on to healthier stuff is number 2. Number 2 is a food called flavonoid foods. These are food that my cousin Ken told me about. Flavonoids are Flavonoids, flavonoids, yeah, food. Two places you can find it in my book, or you can find it on my website, more details about flavonoid foods, Inspired Diabetic, yeah? But flavonoid foods, these are foods that heals and nourishes the pancreas, yeah? So with type 1 diabetes, yeah, the pancreas is not producing any insulin, yeah? With type 2 diabetes, number 1, the pancreas is not functioning enough to produce enough insulin, but it's still functioning. And number 2, you got too much blood sugar level is too high in your system. Yeah, that's the number 2 part of diabetes for type 2. Yeah, so flavonoid foods like dark chocolate, like 80% and above. Yeah, having a bit of that. Banana, blueberries, fresh thyme, grapefruit, herbs, loads of things, sweet potato. There's so many things that you can have, but look it up of foods that are flavonoid foods and focus on. So my focus for flavonoid foods, yeah. And the next thing that you need to do is find out what foods you like through flavonoid foods that you can eat on a regular basis. That's going to help you, yeah. That's going to help you on a regular basis. And also, there are some natural foods that helps reducing the blood sugars as well, like fenugreek, yeah, apple cider vinegar, moringa, I'm thinking now, turmeric, yeah, okra, bitter gourd, yeah. These are some, not sarsaparilla, bitter gourd leaves. I forgot. Sorry, I forgot the name of it. But on the bitter gourd, the bitter melon or Corella, they have the leaves. It begins with an S. The leaves that you can use, yeah, as it as well. But I've done some videos. I'm doing some videos with okra and bitter gourd and show you how you can use it to help reduce the blood sugars, because they are very, very effective. And what I'm going to do with those, I'm going to introduce some apple cider vinegar with that. So those are some videos that I'm looking to put out very, very soon. I'm going to be working on. They're very simple, very basic, but they work. These ingredients work. So it's better than taking some other form of, you know what I mean. So these are the things. It makes me laugh when I'm thinking about it, because it's a serious thing when you're reversing your diabetes. So the third thing is weight, yeah, losing the weight, physical activity. So you got mindset, diet, physical activity. I knew that I was overweight, yeah, but I didn't know I was overweight. I knew I was overweight when my mother said, "Lyndon, your belly will get big." Yeah, my mom told me, "Lyndon, your belly will get big." My mom's Jamaican, so my mom don't mince her words. She tell you as it is, straight. So I'm the baby of the family. I'm the youngest. So when my mom said to me, I said, "Mom, you can't talk to me like that. I'm the baby. You're supposed to be gentle and nice and polite with me." She said, "Lyndon, your belly will get big." And the way she looked at me is like, do something about it. You know, and at the same time, yeah, my mom's feeding me hard food. My mom's feeding me pasta, rice, potato, rice and peas, my curry goat, everything. My mom's such a brilliant cook. When I go to my mom's cook, that's the only time I slide. You know, that's the only time I slide big time, you know. It used to be at Christmas and around her birthday, but anytime I go to a house now, you know, it's quality time. It's quality time I spend with her now. So those quality times that I spend with my mother, it's like, okay, mom, just give me what you want and let's eat together, you know? And that's how I enjoy my time with mother. And the good thing about it, because most of the time, I'm cleansing my body, I'm detoxing my body, I'm eating the right food, yeah? I don't worry about it, yeah? Because it outweighs the time that I go to my mother, yeah? So a lot of people are guilty about having a small cake or a big cake or having certain foods. Just think, you're in a position where you're eating food. You know you're not supposed to eat it, but you still eat it. So when you do that, you're mashing up your head, your brain. The only time I'm saying to you, you can afford to eat those foods is when you've done something and use it as a reward. You get that food as a reward. If you look on page 70 of my book, The Inspired Diabetic, page 70 is a page that tells you there's 4 different types of lemon tart. The reason why there's lemon tart in it, lemon tart is one of my weaknesses, one of my favorite cakes. But there's 4 different sizes, from the smallest mini one to the biggest one. They taste exactly the same. They taste exactly the same. But one thing you have to do is look at your quantity, your portion size. And also with this, I know a lot of you from the Caribbean, African background, and we love our hard food, you know, our jollof rice and all these kind of things. But don't get me wrong, there's nothing really wrong with it because we're used to it, but there's something wrong with it when you have too much of it. It's too much of it. It's having a balance. You know, and having a smaller portion. So what I'm saying is that I don't eat rice every day like I used to. I don't eat potatoes every day like I used to. I love my roast potatoes, you know. I don't eat my macaroni cheese, my pasta dishes every day. If you do like these dishes, yeah, because normally we have the pasta, the rice, and the roast potatoes all on the same plate, plus the coleslaw, yeah, plus the coleslaw, you know. And how many of you make your coleslaw, yeah, with salad cream? Yeah, I know some of you are laughing with salad cream. I've been there, yeah, because it's sweet. That's why, because it's sweet. Rather than using mayonnaise, yeah, you use salad cream. But I'm gonna tell you, mayonnaise is much better for yourself. It definitely isn't, as you may think. So the foods that we're eating now, from the Caribbean foods, have them in portions, smaller portions. And number one, if you're having pasta today, don't eat rice today. If you're having rice today, don't eat potatoes today. Try and break your days up. Yeah? Try and break it up. Try not to snack all the time. If you're going to have snacking, snack on some maybe blueberries, monkey nuts you can snack on. Cut up a kiwi, cut up a grapefruit, you know, have an avocado. There's different things that you can do. But the story, the food stuff is for another day, okay? The other thing, so that's mindset, diet, physical activity, which I told you about, yeah? Let me tell you about my physical activity. Let me just go into that one for 1 second, okay? To reducing the weight aspect of it. The physical activity, you do what it takes to reduce your weight, yeah? And one of the first things you got to do is detox the body, cleanse the body, yeah? And there's a thing called psyllium husk, which I was using, yeah? It's like a washout, but it's not as strong as a washout. You need to clean this stuff out of your system. Clean your veins, clean your intestines. All this stuff needs to be cleaned out. So this is what you need to do, detoxing. So the fourth one I'm going to come to that afterwards, how to detox your body in a bit more detail. But physical activity, for me personally, the best thing that worked for me was to go to the gym. Yeah, you don't have to go to the gym. Yeah, you can do exercises in your bedroom. You can do exercises in your bed. Let me start simple. You can do exercises in your bed. Yeah, you can do exercises in your chair. You can do exercises in your bedroom, your living room, at home. You don't even have to spend money to go out, yeah, to lose weight. You could do all that at home or in your own living room, wherever you are. Yeah, so work out a routine that you could have for yourself to help you. And then the one thing that you want is get your heart rate going, is get your blood going. You know, look, even if I've done this for like 10, 15 minutes, it's something. You know, if I do it long enough, I'm going to get tired. And then when you get to that threshold of you're feeling tired, yeah, then you push it a little bit further, just a little bit further, go, that one more step, go, mindset. And then don't think about the pain, just go for it, just go for it. Remember, it's short term, the pain, the struggle, yeah, but there's a reward at the end of it to reverse your diabetes, okay? So on that aspect of it, yeah, I was going to the gym for 3-4 hours a day, yeah, when I first started. I take my daughter to school for 8:30 in the morning, yeah, I drop her off and I go straight to the gym. And I was in the gym doing this, doing that exercise, doing this machine, that machine. I was all over the place just to try and find out what to do. So I was frustrated in the beginning of being in the gym for all the day. It's like the day's wasted. And what I decided to do, okay, Lyndon, get yourself a personal trainer. So I got a personal trainer just to show me what the machines are in the gym. Yeah, even though I had an induction, I needed someone to go through each one and then I could work out for myself what I enjoy. So after a period of time, I had a routine of going on the cross trainer, the rowing machine, cycling. Then I do a V plate, which vibrates, which is brilliant. I love that. Be doing some skipping. And there's a machine called a lateral machine that goes like that moves the body side to side. Yeah. And those are the small things that I done. So when I went to my gym, £1, yeah, was for 4 hours, yeah, in a car park, yeah, and 50 pence was for 2 hours. So I thought to myself, you know something, I need to challenge myself. So what I decided to do, I go to the gym, to the car park, I put 50 pence in that meter, and since that meter started, I got 2 hours to get in and out back to that car and out of that car park. So I got into the gym, done my routine, yeah, worked it, everything out, time by time, and then I got out, I went back to the car, I went home. When I got back to the car, I always had a banana and a blueberry, punnet a blueberry. I don't know why, but that's the punnet and blueberry, banana and blueberry was always suited for me. For some reason, we have our little things, don't we, that we like, you know, our little delicacies. And one of my delicacies was blueberries and banana after, just tasted so nice for me. So, and the blueberries are good for you. Blueberries is a flavonoid food as well, and it's good for the eyes. So I'm winning both ways. And the banana is a flavonoid food as well, healing the pancreas as well, and it's good for energy. So it worked both for me. The fourth thing that I'm going to touch on is intermittently fasting. Yeah, intermittently fasting. Yeah, and you're probably what intermittently fasting is. If you know what intermittently fasting is, yeah, okay. I've done a book recently on intermittently fasting, the total breakdown. Yeah, and also with intermittently fasting, I didn't even know why I was doing it until I spoke to one of my friends who's a nurse, who said to me, Lyndon, you know something? You're fasting. You're intermittently fasting. I said, how do you mean? I said, you go to the gym in the morning, you don't eat nothing, you just drink water, like you said, and you go for 4 or 5 hours without anything, then you come back and you do that for 4 or 5 days. I said, yeah. I said, that's normal. She said, that's intermittently fasting. So I thought to myself, oh, okay. I didn't realize. But for every month that I was reversing my diabetes, I was having a 24-hour fast. Yeah, just a liquid fast, just drinking water. And that was deliberate because when I was going for a blood test, I wanted to make sure there's as low amount of blood sugar, yeah, in my system. I wanted my blood sugar to be very low. That's why 24 hours, I do a fast, then I go for a blood test. And that was a psyche that I had at that time. You know, I know if I'm not eating nothing, just drinking water, I'm not putting sugars in my system, then I'll be fine for my blood test. And this is what I was doing. So intermittently fasting and fasting. There's one day I went 27 hours, yeah, without eating. All I done was just drinking water. And that was it. Because I was testing my body to see how long I can go without actually feeling I need to eat something. And that was my own personal challenge to see what I can do. When I can do. So that's the 4 principles of me reversing my type 2 diabetes. Let me recap. Mindset, okay? What do I need to do? What information I've got? Can I reverse it? What is it going to take? Yeah, that's it. Diet, yeah, is the next one, yeah? What foods do I need to take out of my diet? What foods do I need to bring into my diet? What am I going to start eating? Yeah. Number 3, physical activity. Yeah. What do I need to do to lose that belly? Yeah, lose the weight. Yeah, and number 4 is intermittently fasting to detox the body, cleanse the body. Yeah, cleanse the body. And that is so important. Cleansing of the body, getting the impurities out. You know, this is so, I'm gonna tell you that when you do that, you feel so much lighter, your head's much more clearer, and you feel more energized. There's so many days I wake up when I know I've had a long day, I've done this, I've done that, and I wake up and I say to myself, how come I feel so energized? Normally you wake up feeling sluggish, and like, oh, here we go again, you're gonna get up. I get up some mornings for, boy, I'm ready to go. You know, that's how you need to feel. Get up when your eyes feel. Even in lockdown now, how many of you go to bed late now because you know you've got nowhere to go the next morning, yeah, and you're waking up in the afternoon, you know? And at first, for me, it was a negative. Yeah, it was a negative because we're so used to getting up by the alarm in the morning. So we're getting up by an artificial alarm. But now, if you're not working like me, yeah, you're getting up like a normal alarm. Your own body alarm is waking you up. And even now, in the beginning of lockdown, I was going to bed late, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. The other day, I went to bed 4 o'clock. I was still up in the morning, yeah, at 4 o'clock doing stuff for my business, yeah. And I turned around, I looked out the window, it was daylight. And I thought to myself, let me go to bed. So I went to bed, I don't know, 5, 6 o'clock, went to bed, yeah, and I woke up about 11 o'clock. Would you believe it? I woke up at 11 o'clock and I felt okay when I got up. And I just carried on with my day-to-day chores, you know? So reshaping of the mind is just what's happening to us now. Rethinking of what we're doing now, yeah, and how we're doing things. And with diabetes, it's really interesting what's happened to me because when they started to talk about the COVID, the virus and all that, what's going on now, and the lockdown, you know, I was afraid to start talking about diabetes, you know, because before the lockdown, I was doing events with Auntie Jean, yeah, our brother Dougie, who passed away. I was doing events with him as well, and I was doing my own events as well. But now I haven't been doing no events. I got no venues to go to, nothing to do. So I'm grateful for Auntie Jean. She's putting on these wonderful events on a regular basis, and I love them. And I'm in a situation where, okay, I got to start rethinking about how am I going to promote myself, keep myself going. And when there was one video that I saw at the beginning of lockdown, when it's shown in London, all the shops they're showing shops with no food on the shelves. I'm thinking, what? No food on the shelf? And then I'm looking, they're fighting over toilet paper, you know? And because it was the lockdown situation, I came into lockdown very early, because I was working for a hotel, yeah, early March, and they started to cut my hours straight away, you know? So I was in lockdown pretty early, not working. And when I saw this video, people running around in London, you know, fighting for food, and I thought to myself, what's going on in London? So I thought to myself, you know something, Lyndon, let me take a sneaky peek outside my house, you know, take a sneaky peek outside the window, see if anybody's still out there. So I went to my shop, didn't I? I went to a local shop. And when I went into the local shop, it was calm. I'm looking at the shop full of fruit and vegetables, full of dry goods. I thought to myself, so what's happening in London? Why are they acting like that? And where I was, everyone was calm. So what I'd done, I don't know why, I just thought to myself, listen, I'll do a selfie video. So, hi, my name is Lyndon Wissart, the author of the book Inspired Diabetic. I'm in my local shop here, showing all these fruits and vegetables, oranges, bananas, pears. I got some okra here, tomatoes, cucumbers. That's what I've done. It's like a 2-minute video. And I thought to myself, I'm just going to share it with some people on my social media to let them know there is food around. Why are you guys kind of rushing around looking for food? And the worst thing about it, when they showed you the shop shelves in London with no food on it, it was like processed food, tin foods, packet fruits. I'm looking at my shop, I'm talking about fresh fruit and vegetables. They're not going through fresh fruit and vegetables. Yeah, they're going for the tin stuff. So I'm telling you guys out there, stick with your fresh fruits and vegetables and keep your immune system up.
Yeah, this is so important because all the people that's rushing to buy the processed foods, they're the ones who are going to get ill, sicker and sicker and sicker. I'm telling you, and it's gonna hit them when they don't expect it. So I'm telling you, keep yourself well. So just a recap, I done this video, I put it on my social media, yeah, and I got what? The views. I had like 500 views on this one video. And this one video, I haven't done a video for a couple of weeks or so. Yeah, because I was working hard and doing other stuff. I got 500 views on it. And then more views. I thought, what's going on here? And this video just went viral. And these people started sending messages to me about, well done. Wow, Lyndon, good on you. I thought to myself, what? So I thought to myself, okay, let me do another video. So I done another video talking about my experience of making my drink and my foods, my bitter gourd drink, my okra drink. And I couldn't believe the response that I had from that as well. If some of you go onto my YouTube channel, that video is on there. It is, yeah, okay. So if you do go to my video channel, yeah, don't forget to subscribe and like. That will help, yeah. Promote the brand. And what I'm saying to you is that there's people out there who didn't understand that people still suffer from diabetes out there, you know, cancer, mental health issues, and all other stuff before COVID. You know, all these other stuff before COVID. And I think to myself, wow, what's going on out there? What's going on? So in that aspect of it, I started to work on different things now. I started to do cooking sessions now. I've done about 4 or 5 videos, cooking sessions, live videos sessions on a Thursday. Every Thursday I do one at 4 o'clock. Yeah. And the reason why I'm doing them now is to let people with diabetes understand there are things they can be doing now, yeah, while they're at home to keep the blood sugars down. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. For some people it's tough. Some people it's hard. Yeah. But you got to change your mindset and tell you it's not tough. Tell yourself it's easy. I can and I will do what it takes. Because I've been working with some people now, talking to them. I've had so many phone calls. I've done so many Zoom interviews where I did not expect it now that our things are happening. We've had to totally reshape the things that I'm doing online now. Yeah, there's things that I'm doing on the background, yeah, which you can't see because I'm not at events, where I have to do certain promotions to keep the brand alive as such, like communicating with other organizations, being part of other organizations, staying on the events with Auntie Jean, for example, you know. And I'm not really a technical person as such. And because I'm not really a technical person, to run a Zoom meeting and stuff like that, I'm so happy that you have Auntie Jean and her team to do things like that. So my heart goes out to Auntie Jean, and just to let you know that I'm always here for you, always supporting the journey, because you've done so much for me before COVID, before lockdown, you know. So it's a blessing. So there's so much more I can tell you, but I don't want to take up too much time. Yeah. I could do some questions and answers if anybody wants now. Yeah, I don't. If you want me to do that, Auntie Jean, you know, or I can go into some details about some other things. Yeah, regarding what you're doing at home.
Okay. Yeah. It's up to you. We can do some quickly questions and answers. Anybody got any questions? Lyndon has shared a lot of information. Anybody got a question? Unmute a mic yourself, and answer away. Anybody? Denise, would you be able to ask your question or mute your microphone, please? Has anybody else got any questions? Anybody got any questions?
I think I answered them, all of them on my way.
No, not at the moment. Hi, Auntie Jean. Hello, Lyndon.
Hiya. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Oh, good, thank you.
Good. How are you, Auntie Jean?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm very good. Do you have your question?
I've got a question at the moment. My video was off because I was a bit busy doing other things. so I didn't really get the whole meeting.
Okay. Okay. All right. If you don't mind muting, because we can hear you in the background. Can hear you in the background.
Sorry?
If you don't mind muting your camera, your device, because we can hear you in the background. Okay. Thank you.
That's okay.
All right. Has anybody got any questions? Would you go over your list again, Lyndon? You said you had the list of the foods that you took, from the banana, the
Yeah, the basic list for reducing the blood sugars.
I've got a question when you finish. Sorry.
Yeah, it was fenugreek, turmeric, moringa, apple cider vinegar, bitter gourd. They call it bitter gourd, bitter melon, or karela. Yeah, okra as well. There's not sarsaparilla. The cerasee is the other one. Cerasee leaves. Yeah, and there are other ingredients as well that does help. Also, what I was taking when I was diagnosed, I had other issues with my body. I had a fatty liver as well, and one of the things that I used to use for fatty liver is lemon water to reduce that. I used to take spirulina as well. Cinnamon helps as well with the blood sugars as well. Cinnamon, lime. I was taking these things on a regular basis to detox the body. I was.
Can I ask? Someone with. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Someone with type 1 diabetes, is that the one where they've their pancreas?
Pancreas don't work. Yeah.
Yeah. So can that one be reversed?
That is a very. Okay, I can answer it, but in a non-political way.
I don't mind. I'm not politically correct.
Yeah, there's not people out there politically correct, so I have to be careful what I say, because I know 3 people that was type 1 diabetic. They've come off of insulin and they'd all survived. Yeah. So I'm not saying it's possible. Yeah, but I've seen videos and I've met people who's actually done it. My cousin Ken is the first person that I met who was on insulin, and he took himself off of insulin. Yeah. So it's a very sensitive area. Can a person come off insulin? If you do want to come off of insulin, yeah, because you think you're type 1, work with your doctor to do that. Yeah. You want, because you need to be controlled in a position to be working with someone to reduce your insulin intake over a period of time.
Right.
Yeah. And if you know Dr. Layla, yeah?
No, I don't.
Okay, Dr. Layla, I have to be careful what I say and how I say things, you know, with type 1.
Up Dr. Layla Africa. You can look him up.
Yeah,
Dr. Layla on YouTube.
Yeah. No, okay. Look him up with an interview with Damon Dash.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. With Damon Dash, and Damon Dash is wearing a red top. He's wearing a red overcoat kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
If you can't find it, contact me directly, and I'll share that information with you.
What's your contact details?
I'll get it off from Auntie Jean. Get it from Auntie Jean.
Okay. All right. Will do. Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem at all.
Oh, thank you.
But with type 1 diabetics, the only thing I could say to you is eat flavonoid foods on a regular basis.
Okay.
Yeah. Flavonoids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flavonoid. Yeah, it's not for me. For my brother. My brother eats type 1. Yeah.
That's fine. It's no problem. Yeah.
No.
If your brother's got type 1, flavonoid foods. Yeah. You can find them on my website. Yeah. Okay. Or you can find them in my book. Either way. But flavonoid foods, there's great focus on those. But
Sister Nkechi.
Yes. Hi, Lyndon. That was really, really lovely listening to you.
Thank you.
I was just wondering, because I was just wondering if you have managed to speak to the male counterpart, you know, your male counterparts, because I find that the women are very, very, usually, my experience of being a health practitioner, are very kind of open to trying something different, a bit more, not all women, but a bit more. But I find that the males are really, really reluctant. I do work with people and help them to reverse diabetes as well. And I find women do manage to kind of do the journey and go a bit like what you've done,
Yes.
with a bit of supervision for myself. But I find that the men really do find it hard to make that change. Are you actually targeting them at all?
Yeah, I've been targeting them for a very long time. I have, especially with brother Dougie, in my early stages of doing my talks and everything like that. With brother Dougie, he's the first person that said, "Lyndon, I got your back," you know. And from then he's had me on a radio station several times at night on Bless and SLR, Conscious. He got me to all of these events that he was doing. And the thing about it now, when I was doing events, I'll get guys that come up to me and say, they'll come and whisper in my ears, you know, "Lyndon, you know, I got this thing going on." You know, they go, "I got this thing going on." I say, "What thing you got going on, bro?" You know, and so they ask me for advice and stuff like that. And there's another gentleman, Errol McKellar, that I've done several events with as well. He's a prostate cancer survivor, and me and him we've been on doing talks as well to many guys in the community as well. We have, yeah, talking about the experience. This is why I do a lot of talks now about what I go through, you know, and what there's certain things. It's a bit early for me to tell you a few things in the day because I don't know if any children are listening right now, but there's other things that I was going through, yeah, with my diabetes, you know, which I talk a lot about when I'm doing my own personal events or when I'm doing an event, when it's more personal and people want to know. Because don't forget, there's a lot of people, they have all the symptoms of diabetes, but they don't know what the symptoms are. When I was diagnosed, I had all the symptoms of diabetes, but I didn't know what the symptoms related to. And this is the same thing with a lot of men. So this is why I share my story all the time. And when people like, when the queens like Auntie Jean asked me to speak, I'm there, you know, because the men need to hear the story. They need to hear the story.
They tend to listen to each other a bit more than when you tell them, you know. That's been my experience.
But only a couple of weeks ago, this lady rang me, you know, and she said, "Lyndon, I need to talk to you." I said, "What are you talking about?" "I need you to talk to my husband." Yeah, "I need you to talk to my husband. His blood sugars has gone up high, you know, I need to talk to him." And yeah, I said, "Okay, when's the best time to talk?" So she told me when the best time to talk to him because he was busy. So she knows he won't know that I'm talking to her. So later that day, I rang him, I spoke to him, you know, and she was beside him. And I said to him, "Listen, whatever you're going through now, I can help you, do this, do that." And I said, I gave him some guideline. I said, "Also listen to your wife as well, you know, because she knows some stuff that I don't know, you know, because I told her all the things already. So she's got the information, but I took it from him to ask her from myself because she knows already. So I'm using reverse psychology with him. So I'm using the wife who he doesn't normally listen to, yeah, because she's mentioned it 10 times to him, but it never sunk in, you know? So I'm on the phone with him, telling him one time, he says, "I understand." Then I said to him, listen to your wife as well, because she's got some information, yeah, as well that can help you. And she's cooking for you as well, you know? And from then, you know, he's on the track, which is brilliant, you know? So even though it sounds like the ladies are nagging sometimes, you know, it does work. We are listening, but we got a guard up. We have a guard up, and that's how it is. This is why I'm telling all of you out there who's listening to this now, if you want me to talk to your man or express yourself to the man, you either do one thing: go onto my website, go onto my YouTube channel, listen to me, or contact me to do a talk or something like that. Because at the end of the day, we have to do it. We need a lot of our men in the community in this day and age strong and healthy. Yeah, strong and healthy. We're doing a lot of things with our mind, yeah, but we're forgetting about our body. Yeah, we can't fight a war. We can't fight a battle just with our minds. We still have to be strong and healthy to inspire other people.
That's
So true.
That's true.
Yeah, we have to. We have to.
Sorry, go on. I was going to say there was somebody, I think it was Paul. I heard Paul's voice. Paul, did you have a question? You'd like to unmute yourself? Paul, did you have a question? No? Okay. Has anybody else got any questions? Would you like to tell us a bit about your book, Lyndon?
Yes, my book, the Inspired Diabetic, yeah, is about my journey, okay, of the foods I was eating before, during, and afterwards. Yeah. So I have stuff in there like a list of foods that I was eating. Yeah. And on my next book, I'm gonna revamp it to have more recipes, more ingredients in there to help specifically, especially like now when you're going through certain viruses, foods to help you with viruses. Yeah. So there's different things that we're eating at the moment as well. I always talk about cruciferous vegetables. Yeah, cruciferous vegetables. If you know about those, I done one this week, which was the cauliflower on my last Facebook Live. And cauliflower is one of the foods that helps to prevent cancer. Yeah, so it talks about that. That's on page 94 of my book. And the book talks about a lot of things I was having, like spirulina, which spirulina is the health benefits of spirulina. Yeah, which I was taking on a regular basis. I haven't got CMOS in here. That's going to be in the next book. But as you can see, there's lots of things that I've been learning on the journey now that I'm going to be adding to my future books. I'm going to be adding to more of my talks as well to help people, to help the immune system and build the immune system. But the book is about me, my journey, and what I went through, and how I've done it in 105 days. It talks about my weight. It talks about my eyes when I went for my retinopathy eye test. It tells you about the tablets I was taking before my my eye test and why my eyes were in good quality, even though I was diabetic, which was amazing. And they couldn't understand it, couldn't believe it, especially when my blood glucose was so high. So in the book, I got my actual eyes. That's the X-ray of my eyes. Yeah, okay. When I went for my eye test, and all my veins in my eyes were perfect. Yeah, and that's another story of how it became perfect, because I was looking after myself before that. Yeah, so that's another one of the things about the book. And many people who's read the book, they relate to a lot of the things that I went through within the book. And it's amazing when you meet people who's read the book. So, Lyndon, I was doing this, I was doing that. I went through this, I went through that. The symptoms, the ups, the downs. It's incredible. It's incredible. I had to go back to 1980s when I was working at the Savoy Hotel to find out if I was diabetic, because I was drinking so much lemonade as a teenager back then, and I always had certain sicknesses back then. Yeah, in the 90s, I always was eating jelly babies on a regular basis. I was always tired as well. So even in the 90s, I might have been diabetic, but I didn't realize it. Yeah, and in the 20s, I was confirmed diabetic. You know, so just think, you know, I was thinking, there's something wrong, there's something not right. But we've never done nothing about it. Yeah, I had pains in my stomach for over a year. I done nothing about it. Over a year. I had blood in my stool for over a year. I done nothing about it. Yeah, as a man, done nothing about it.
Why? Was it
Were you?
what was wrong, or you just kind of ignored that, you know, it's only one off, you know, it's not happening?
Exactly. And I thought I can take care of it. There's something else that I talk about, which I won't talk about now, but I was creating my own medicine to cure some things that I was going through.
Right.
Yeah, I was playing with my own body because it was my body. So in my own time, I was doing my own thing, you know, and sometimes it's not the right thing to do. You know, sometimes we make more harm to our bodies than good if you're not doing the right things, you know, and I talk about this maybe after 9 watershed time, I talk about it, you know. So if you're ever doing a late night session and you want to know more about the symptoms that I was going through as a diabetic, let's do a late night session.
Okay.
Because it's serious. It's at the end of the day, when I'm thinking about it, even now, I want to cry.
I hear you.
Because that ain't no joke.
Yeah.
It ain't no joke. When you're sick and your body's not right and you know it's not right and you don't do nothing about it, that's why people go mentally out there. And some people, I know people who's got mental health issues now, and I know they can't control it, so they take their own medication for it. So when they're on the medication controls it, for them. But I know for a fact that if they off the medication, they can control it because they're conscious of it.
Yeah.
They're conscious of it. You know, and this is why right now I'm in a situation where we're so many, because there are lots of groups out there, lots of groups doing their own thing, positive things, yeah? And then when you get people who are not part of any group, they only see one idea of what's happening. So they don't think everybody's working together. But there's many groups out there. We're working in different groups around the world, but people don't see it. So they think we're not working together. But we are so tight, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the day is coming when we are united, but people don't see it. When you go, I'm part of 20 plus, WhatsApp groups, 20 WhatsApp groups, from 50 to 100 to 200 to 250 people in these WhatsApp groups. I see so much that's going on. And when I hear people say we're not united, I'm telling you, we are.
Yeah.
We are so strong. And there's certain words that I'm not going to say now, which I wish we would stop mentioning about other people. And we've got to put ourselves in the position that we are what we are and what we want to be, rather than what that other people are and we're not.
Yeah.
Do you understand me? You know, it's just so powerful. We are so powerful. Just think, let me simplify for everybody, okay? There's 465 million people worldwide with diabetes, I was diagnosed in October 2015, Has anybody seen, anybody that's done what I've done in the last 4 years?
No one.
Think about it. If I
When you
was
say no, you mean as in write a book or as in
reverse my type 2 diabetes?
I have.
In 105 days, naturally.
Yeah, it can be done. Yeah.
It can be done, but
Like
why are they not?
Isn't it?
But why are they not profiled? Why are we not seeing these people? Why are we not hearing from these people? We need to hear them. And number one, when you're of our color, they don't want to profile us. If you're of another color and you've done it with medication and you're ugly and fat, we'll profile you.
Yeah.
We have the biggest platforms, like Auntie Jean, you have one of the biggest platforms to help raise us, above everything that's out there, and you're doing such a good thing to it, and we're rising, but we're going to rise together. There's so much things that I see that we're capable of doing, and we're doing it already. It's just that the right people, they're too afraid of their own brand to come out of it and to say, Auntie Jean, I love what you're doing. Here's £1 million. Let's go and build your building. Do you hear me? There's too many people out there in their own little bubble that are afraid to join up with organizations like yours and say, listen, you want a building? there it is. Let's build it. Let's do it.
Mm.
And then put their name on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't understand why people are not doing it. And they've got the money and they don't even need the money.
Well, it's part of society.
Exactly. This is why I do what I do. Yeah. This is why I got my face on the front of my book.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And it doesn't frighten me. Yeah. The once upon a time they wanted my book to be blue. Yeah, they wanted my book to be blue. You know why? Everything else is blue out there.
Right.
Yeah, think about it. Everything else is blue out there.
Mm.
They want
to conform.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Think about it. And when you don't conform, yeah, they want to suppress.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
The book's done. There's nothing else. It's done. The story's there. The journey's there.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's done. This is for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is for us. For what I'm doing for diabetes. Yeah, if you know any other diabetics out there who's done what I've done, yeah, I want to hear about them. I want to profile them on my platform as well. We need that. Because if people don't see us doing it together, they think, oh, it's just him who can do it.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, that's
right.
true.
That's it.
Yeah, and it's not true. It's just a mindset.
That's true.
It's a mindset.
Nkechi, you have your stuff?
Last question for me. Where can we get your book? Because I wouldn't mind buying it and giving it out to a few people, people that I know.
Yeah, you go to my website. You get it from my website, theinspireddiabetic.com.
Okay, so that's where we can.
Yeah.
From your website, okay.
Yeah, get it from my website. That's what I say. Because there's other platforms you can get it from. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, but they ain't supporting me. Yeah.
Yeah.
They ain't supporting me. I challenge you, right? Because we're part of a group, yeah? What I want all of you to do today, go onto Amazon, yeah, okay, and see how many reviews I've got on my book. Yeah? I've sold tons of books, yeah? And you see how many reviews on there, yeah? And you're going to look at it and you say, is that all?
Wow.
You're going to say, is that all?
Mm.
Yeah? We've done tests, yeah, with Amazon, yeah, with reviews, yeah? We've put up more than there is on there now, yeah? And they've been taken down.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah? You
Wow.
guys got to understand what's happening out there, yeah? If you look at my book on Amazon, look at the book that they put underneath it, yeah? Okay? The another book they put underneath it, yeah? And look how many reviews that book's got.
Right.
Yeah? It's a psychological thing. When you understand this thing, it doesn't bother you anymore. We just keep promoting. We keep going.
That's right.
We keep going.
I have a question.
Yes, Sister Queen. Greetings.
Greetings everyone.
Greetings.
Brother Lyndon, greetings to see you again. I was
Thank you.
with Brother Dougie and doing our thing.
Excellent. Yeah.
You remember me? You know?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Question. And you've lost weight since. Looking good. Question.
Thank you.
You mentioned about your event. When is your event and where? Do you do it online?
No, I'm not doing nothing. I'm just doing events with Auntie Jean and other organizations. I'm not actually doing my own events online. The only thing I'm doing online, I'm doing a radio show. I'm doing a radio show on a Monday night, 10 o'clock on Radio MHRIEP. I do on my Facebook, Radio MHRIEP UK family page. Yeah. And I do one on, that's called around 10 p.m. Okay. 10 p.m. Radio MHRIEP. Yeah. Also, yeah, the family page. That's on the family page on Facebook. Yeah. And also, I'll do a show on Wednesday night with a lady called H. Michelle Johnson, which is called Chat Back. And on Thursday, 4 o'clock, I do a live cooking session. I do with Yvonne Michelle, and that's on YouTube and that's on Facebook Live as well. So those are what I'm doing at the moment.
What time? On Thursday?
Thursday is 4 p.m.
Okay. 4
p.m. So I've done a few of those shows already. If you want to see what I've done already, you can go onto my YouTube channel. Yeah, I don't think they're on my website. I think they put them onto the YouTube channel at the moment. They are, yeah.
What is your YouTube channel name?
The Inspired Diabetic.
Okay, it's up.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister.
No, thank you.
You're welcome.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Got any questions?
Pleasure.
I did hear a sister's voice earlier on. Do you still have a question, or has your question been answered, or has anybody got any questions quickly before Lyndon wraps up? Anything from anyone?
Yeah, I'd like to ask a question based on discovering a few years back, which I didn't know myself, just a random doctor's checkup, that I was borderline diabetic. Hearing your story about your level of sugar that you were eating, I can identify with that. I wasn't aware I was eating that much on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And in the kind of work you're doing, it's a rotation thing, kitchen at work, bread on jam, marmalade, lunch in an area in the city where it's just basically pret-a-manger and just silly foods, you know, and just being a bit too lazy and making my own home stuff, or last night's dinner, bringing the rest of it in. And so, you know, you're eating really badly. So I found out I was borderline diabetic. Now, the question I wanted to ask was, in doing my own little bit of research, which I've got that all under control now, was that I discovered in some research that they were showing you for a black person's anatomy and maybe a European's anatomy, when you go to the doctors and they give you information, it's not quite right. Like with Dr. Layla Africa will tell you, would have said in a couple of his videos that they're obviously trained from the westernized point of view. So when they give you any sort of analysis, it's a case that you really got to get a second checkup about that, because they do it based on how it kind of normalizes a European anatomy, but for a Caribbean or someone from the black origin, it's a different type of count. You know, we're more like off the Richter scale in a sense. So sometimes where they might say you're borderline, you're actually very much morbidly into the diabetic state than just on the borderline. So I'm just
borderline, yeah.
So I was just trying to
it's funny you should say that, because anything that happens nowadays and it's negative, we're suffering the most from it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's become the norm for them to say that. So we're the first ones they want to pump us with anything. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Pump us anything. And to be honest with you, when I declined medication, they couldn't understand why. They couldn't comprehend it. Yeah. And secondly, when I reversed it in 25 days, went back for my blood test, they couldn't understand and comprehend why. They only asked me what have I been doing. They didn't ask me any detailed question. Yeah. And the second thing, when I went down to 60, from 92 down to 77, 77 down to 60, when I was at 60 HbA1c, I was supposed to have a meeting with them. They didn't turn up. Yeah. Okay. This is deep. Yeah. Okay. When I completed my reversal of my diabetes back down to normal, I was on I went on diabetic courses. Yeah, with my clinics. I went for, and not one of them kind of helped me. It's all tests. Yeah, and they'll ask you, what does this big word mean? What does that big word mean? Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, hold on, I want to learn about how to reverse it. And they're telling you all the foods you shouldn't be eating, but it wasn't telling you the foods you should be eating naturally. It was like that. And there's my last one that I went to, I thought to myself, okay, I've got flyers about what I've done. Let me go back and give them flyers, hand them out and tell them what I've done. And nobody was interested.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I even told the people, the organizers of the diabetes course for the last 4 weeks, if you want me to come and do a talk about what I've done, let me know. I've never heard anything from them.
Yeah. Yeah, because it seems like they are quite quick at printing off a standard generic kind of what information they have from a doctor's point of view. And if you then go back for a checkup and you let them know that you've done your own personal research, they literally are not interested. They just want you to stick to their guidelines.
Okay, let me. I don't normally talk about this, but let me tell you one situation that I had. Yeah, when I finally found out what I'd done was brilliant. Yeah, okay, in 105 days, reverse type 2 diabetes. After that, when I told people about it, I know people in the media before I was diabetic. I got friends who are successful, who's been on TV, everything. I know friends on BBC, ITV, the lot, yeah? And you know the thing about it? I thought to myself, let me get myself prepared for if I'm gonna go on BBC TV, ITV, the radio station. I was getting ready for a media plague around me. You know, I was getting ready for it. So I went to my doctor, yeah, and we wrote a letter. I wanted a letter from him to say that I'd reversed my type 2 diabetes, yeah, and I'm cured myself. Do you think they'd write it for me the way I wanted it? Exactly. No. I had to go back 5 times, yeah, 5 times for them to correct the letter. Yeah, 5 times to ask them to change what they said, and they still wouldn't do it. Yeah, 5 times. They didn't want, because I need to have proof when I go on BBC, ITV, the Channel 5s, you know, the mainstream media, yeah, that I got my paperwork. If they ask me of proof of what I done, I need to show them. Do you hear me? I had to cover myself because I'm thinking to myself, gosh, nobody's out there that's done it like me. You know, listen, I it's so funny.
You have the mind to at least think about doing it and pushing it in this way. It's just good that you had that in mind, you know?
Yeah, you got, because you know, and don't get me wrong, as a layman, who I think I am, yeah, okay, you see things and you think, okay, let me prepare myself. You know, so if I go to a meeting, I used to go with a suitcase, you know, with a suitcase full of paperwork of everything that you know, just in case. You know, now I don't go nowhere with anything. I don't care. Doesn't bother me now. Yeah, it really doesn't bother me now. You know, I was on Channel 5 News with Claudia Lisa Amar, you know, the black presenter on Channel 5 News, yeah? Okay? The day that they phoned me to go there, yeah, I was nervous as hell, yeah? I was nervous as hell when I was going there, but I said, I'm going, you know, because this is one of the biggest breaks that you want to get, yeah, to get on primetime TV. So when I got there, I was nervous, but I'm thinking I started to calculate in my head, Lyndon, what did you do? You reversed your type 2 diabetes, 105 days. You know exactly what you done, how you do it. Just tell them that. And when I said that, I just relaxed. I said, yes, what's the big deal? Yeah. So I was still nervous, but I went in there. And you know the thing about it? I went in there, when I sat down in front of Claudia, yeah, and she looked at me, she goes, Lyndon, how you doing? I said, hi, how are you doing? When the minute she said my name, she looked at me, and it's a black woman. I was 100% relaxed. Yeah, I was 100% relaxed. When she said, how you doing? She shook my hands, and we had a chat off screen before we started to do the live interview. Yeah, so I'm not going to tell you what we spoke about, but it was so funny that we had a conversation. Yeah, okay. And you know the thing about it, the second time that I went there for an interview, they invited me back. Yeah, okay. She said she's got my book.
Wow.
Yeah. The first time I went there with a book to give her anyway. Yeah, signed copy of the book. Yeah. But the second time I went there, I didn't know if she had my book, but she told me, I don't think she got it the first time. Because when I came back the second time, she said, Lyndon, I got your book. And the first time was like, when she said the second time, sorry, she would have said, oh, I got your book. Thank you for it last time. That's what people would have said normally. But obviously she got my book off her own back.
It's a
You know
compliment.
what I'm saying? Sorry?
That's a compliment.
100%, yeah. 100%. But you know something? When I met her, she made me feel so relaxed in the studio.
Right.
You know, because from the time that I came in the building, yeah, she was the only black person I saw. From reception, going all the way up till I got into sit beside her in the studio.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah?
It just goes to show they only let a few of us in.
I'm telling you.
Lynn,
I'm telling you.
thank you,
You know?
so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
My pleasure.
If you've got any questions, you can still put it in the chat and or leave it till later on. And your questions can be answered by Lyndon then. Lyndon, I've put your telephone number and also your email address in the chat. I don't know if you'd like to put your website. I think it's a similar name, isn't it, to your email?
Yeah, theinspirediabetic.com, yeah.
Okay. For those who would like to see. And they can get the book personally, from you personally, can't they?
Yes, they can, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Auntie Jean, listen, I'm very sorry, but I need to rush off.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's Father's Day and I got some unexpected guests.
Please.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Enjoy.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for everyone as well. So if anybody out there want to contact me directly, don't hesitate. I'm telling you, do not hesitate. I don't bite.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Thank you. Enjoy.
Thank you. I will do. Thank you very much.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, peace.
Peace.
All right. After, we're going to have a little break, and I'm going to put on our brother Maccabee. I suppose it's to follow on from what Lyndon has been talking about. And then we'll have our sister Nkechi. So get ready for about 10 minutes. We'll have a little break, and then Sister Nkechi will be our next presentation, I should say. All right. Let me just line up and get this sorted. Hang on a minute. I've got to. I'm not quite as ready as I thought I was actually. So you're just gonna have to bear with me for a minute, and while I just line this back up and sort this out, and I shall see you in 10 minutes.
Greetings. Yes, I'd like to give thanks to everyone for all of their support. The Medical Mondays has become very popular all over the world. So as a special treat, here is the Medical Monday Top 10. Yes, Greetings. This is Buku, a South African herb. Buku. Have you ever heard of Buku? No? I was in Cape Town in the year 2000 to do a show. I took one of my son. Whilst there, he developed some cold symptom. I didn't have my herb, so I had to get some. I told the promoter, and he said, come, we're going downtown to find someone. We met a herbalist, a real Rasta man. We told him all about the situation. He said, Buku, with a little garlic. He said, Buku is a herb with a lot of benefit. Sure, cleared it up. Quick. When I returned to the UK, I had to find it. Herbal shop. Do you sell Buku? She looked at me like she didn't have a clue. Spelled B-U-C-H-U. She said, oh, you mean Bushu? She looked at me like me cuckoo. But me no business. Me still say Buku. Cho, antibiotic, antibacterial, antifungal, they call it a miracle. Health tonic, internal, external. A lot of vitamins, also the mineral. Pain reliever, anti-inflammatory, used medically century after century. Natural medicine, complementary. Down in Azania, they have Buku plenty. Yes, Greetings, welcome to Maccabee's Medical Monday. Today it's all about this. Medical Monday, dropping some bars here. Okay, let's take a pause here. Ginger, what is it good for? Oh yes, nausea, fresh dried, have it in a powder, have it in a oil, in a juice, in a tea. Ginger is good for travel sickness over the land and the air and the sea. Also for the morning sickness, that's for the woman in a pregnancy. Antioxidant, antibacterial, also anti-inflammatory. With lemon is one combination, helpful for mucus and decongestion, helps with digestion and circulation. Pain reliever, maybe menstruation. Some spices have got a lot of benefit. Scientifically, there are statistics. The truth is, and I keep it simplistic, ginger is more than a biscuit. Gargle, keep your mouth fresh. Chew some, good for your breath. Oh yes, even a ginger compress got a lot of usefulness. Yes, a Medical Monday. Yes, It's Medical Monday. I think it's time to do a rhyme about time. Culinary herb, medically inclined. Time has really stood the test of time. Long time it has been on the scene. Should have its own Time magazine. Use a lot in Jamaican cuisine. A lot of good recipes they have it in. Watch. Wait a minute. Even using ancient Egypt, antibacterial, antiseptic. Time has got a lot of health benefit. Respiratory, digestive, diuretic, antifungal, antibiotic. Cho, make a tea, you can infuse it. Cho, make the oil, enough people use it. Time flies, but I realize Times a repellent of insect and flies. Got many uses, fresh or dried. Versatility, nature provided strong. Got a lot of potency, take heed. Woman in a pregnancy. Care provider, do it properly. Everything's not for everybody, you'll find. There's a lot more to time. Food and medicine should be combined. That's the last line, because sadly, I have run out of time. Yes, I am. Greetings, welcome to Maccabees Medical Mondays. So you can't sleep. The middle of the night you're awake could be something you've ate. You can't sleep, your sleep pattern can't regulate. What's on your plate? Too much fast food, high fat, well saturated. Much white salt make your body dehydrate, and all of the additives they add for the taste, aspartame, monosodium glutamate, and you know that you're eating too much too late. You should only eat a very light snack after 8. Belly abuse, give your stomach a break. It's working overtime for a low pay rate. Wait, all the caffeine, the energy drink, you're so wide awake you can't even blink. Try water, chamomile tea, peppermint, cherry juice, celery juice, help you get party wing. Try and find vegan foods with tryptophan in. What a thing, it increases serotonin, and the serotonin helps the melatonin, and the melatonin control the sleeping. Wholesome food with a lot of vitamin. Time to eat healthy, time to begin. You might see an improvement in how you're sleeping, cause it can be connected to what you're eating. A Medical Monday, yes I am. Them say Peter Piper pick up a pickled pepper, but this is not pickled pepper, this is cayenne pepper, and it better. You only need a little bit of pepper, not a lot. If you use a lot of pepper, then you could become a crapper. Little bit of pepper just to make it little hotter. And if you do it proper, it can medically matter. Cayenne pepper information, very good for circulation, and it's good for stimulation and reduces inflammation. I know we don't know question that it's helpful for congestion. Also, there's suggestion that it help with indigestion. An ingredient within that is called capsaicin is used in many pain-killing creams for the skin. I know it's good for pain, seen it time and time again. Personally, seen the cayenne stop a migraine. Even a toothache that can keep you awake. Make the tea, then hold it in your mouth and wait in a warm water with some lemon and lime. Your body knows it's detoxification time. But be careful with the pepper, and I will tell you why. Don't get it on a cut or get it in your eye. If you do, it will sting. You will bawl, aye. Anyhow, sing this song here with I. Them say Peter Piper pick up a pickled pepper, but this is not pickled pepper, this is cayenne pepper, and it better. A Medical Monday, Maccabee tongue twister. Yes, I am. Greetings, welcome to Maccabees Medical Monday. Moringa, one of the miracle tree. Moringa, give you enough energy. Moringa powder in a smoothie, organically, medically, anti-inflammatory. So many nutrients, you won't believe it. Overall health, Moringa increase it, finds the energy, then release it. Your body says thanks when it receives it. Kiswahili, they call it umlonge. In Jamaica, some say merengue. Over 90 nutrients in there. That deserves a roll on the jembe. Without within, good for the skin. High in antioxidants, no vitamin. Repairing, strengthening, and protecting. What a thing, boost your immune system. The powder, the leaves, the oil, and the tea, complementary to your body. Even a little bit goes a long way. Feel the benefits throughout the day. Seeds are edible, first they're bitter. Drink water, becomes sweet like sugar. Start with one seed. People take heed, they're strong. Might be all that you need. Moringa helps to fight against disease. Healthy eating's one of the keys. Take advantages of the leaves of one of the miracle trees. Greetings, welcome to Maccabees Medical Monday. Today it's all about vitamin C. Vitamin C. Vitamin C. Sure, good for the colds and flus and boosts your immunity. This vitamin helps absorb the minerals in your body. This vitamin, it's an antioxidant and very healthy. This vitamin in a certain fruit and vegetables plenty. Vitamin C it in a lemon. Vitamin C it in a lime. Vitamin C it in a oranges and peppers and thyme. In a kiwi, in a guava, in a berries, in a kale. Vitamin C it in enough fruit and veg without fail. Papaya, amla, mango, moringa, melon, watercress, so much in a nature. So many benefits with spatula start. Blood circulation, good for the heart. Also good for the skin because it good with the collagen. Very helpful for repairing and it good for healing. It's an essential vitamin and you must get it in. And the best way to get it in, healthy eating. It name vitamin C. And this is Medical Monday with the man Maccabee. Yes, I am. Greetings, welcome to Maccabees Medical Monday. If you want to be healthy, this is the starter. Drink more water. We are walking water, almost 3/4. Drink more water. Water, without a doubt, is the most important thing you can put in your mouth. Essential, used by your body throughout, and you must replace it when it come out. It come out through the sweat, also the urine, also the breath. If you're dehydrated, your body's upset. Water replenish and nourish, protect, transports nutrients, helps with the energy, flushes waste from out of your kidney. Headache remedy, drink water plenty, make your tank full, not empty. So you say make you pee, so go and have a pee. Everybody have to pee, don't hurt nobody. No fat, no sugar, no calorie. Pay your body water, give it a good salary. Hydrate, lose weight, feel great, lubricate. No constipate, temperature regulate. How many glasses a day? About 8. And if you reach 6 at first, that's great. Filter spring, alkaline, do your thing. Clean water without other things in. Fill your glass to the brim. More water, drink up your medicine. Yes, I am. Greetings. In a shop walking down the aisle, I saw a small bottle, a small little vial. When I read what it was, I couldn't help but smile. What? CBD oil. Rasta telling about this all the while. CBD oil being proven in some clinical trial. CBD oil from the cannabis plant, that is what it is. Renowned for its medical properties. It's in health shops, they're doing business. Being sold for medicinal purposes. Many uses, what a variety. Pain relief and also anxiety. Headline news with the epilepsy. Inflammation, some say the acne. Gaining a lot of popularity. Towards it, still a lot of animosity. People wondering about the legality. It's on the high street, that's the reality. In the UK, it's there to see. Can it be the all that CBD? The ones in the shop have to be legally very low in THC. Things are changing globally. Medicine rearranging totally. That tree that you thought was your enemy could turn out to be a remedy. Confused, you need a guide. Go check a healthcare provider. Make the expert be your decider. Just realize the choices are wider. Yes, I am. America Monday. Welcome to Maccabee's Medical Monday. Today it's all about this, the cucumber. As they call it in Jamaica, cucumber. Cucumber. Vitamins, minerals, very high number. Silica, hair and nails get longer. Other vitamins make your bones them stronger. Anti-wrinkle make you look younger. 95% water. Kidney a great hydrator, detox, fiber, good regulator. Your body good things, don't be a traitor. Get the cucumber, cut it in a slice, put it in a jug of water overnight. You know what you get for a fraction of the price? Energy drink full of electrolyte. Roaring salad is one of the use as a base for your vegetable juice. Another surprise, put a slice on your eyes, take away the dryness, revitalize. Oh yes. One thing I have left, cucumber can also help with bad breath. Wash away the bacteria that cause the odor. Cucumber water instead of soda. A Maccabee Medical Monday. Cucumber.
Sorry about that, folks. It wasn't playing properly and it seems to have frozen. So I'm going to have to look into that. And I didn't want to stop it because I didn't know how to correct it. So since the word was flowing, I thought that maybe you could just hear anyway, if not want to see it. Because personally, I don't like the flashing. I can't take the flashing. But anyway, that means that we're starting a little bit earlier with our sister Nkechi. Are you ready? You have to unmute yourself, my sis.
Yeah, it dropped out for a few seconds, but I hope I'm back now. I've got it in 2 computers because in my area the internet's really dodgy. So I'm going to see which one holds. Hopefully I'll do it between one or the other. I'm going to start off by really apologizing for the background. I didn't do that on purpose. It's just done it itself.
Oh, did it? Oh,
it's a bit. No, yeah, you do. There is a setting, but I didn't put it on. It just suddenly. I noticed it the other day, and it's doing it again today. Didn't do it for my yoga class this morning, but it's just doing it. It seems
Easy
to be doing
to
it
change. Do you want me to help you?
I went into it and I changed it. I don't know if you noticed earlier. You could see my wooden background. And then all of a sudden it went back in again. So something's happening where it's slipping back in. I do know, I know how to change it, but I don't know. So I hope you're not going to be too distracted by it, everybody. I'm just going to try and ignore it myself. At least you can see my face.
Do you need?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you need?
Sorry?
You need to screen share anything? Have you got anything?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay.
So it's just really the beginning.
Right. You'll be able to now, if you want to screen share, you can. So,
okay. So I'd just like to say greetings and love to each and everyone. And thank you very much for having me here today. It gives me great pleasure to have an opportunity to share some of my knowledge with everybody. I don't recognize many of the names, so I'm not sure if there's anybody here that actually knows of my work, but I have been doing my work for a long time. And I was saying to Auntie Jean, I need to talk to people about what I do. This is the right time for me to really start sharing some of this information that I have. So, and I'd like to say, I know he's gone, but I to for his really great presentation. I loved his enthusiasm, and I can actually, because I'm a health practitioner and I do work with people with the natural therapies, and one of the things I specialize in is digestive issues, as well as other things like reversing diabetes. And that's why I put that question to him about the males, because I find they're the ones that find it really hard to make a switch to the right kind of foods, and change over if they do eat the right foods, and just take away a lot of the what we sometimes revered foods, but actually is just junk for the body. So I was really excited to hear him. My talk today, it's hold on a minute. My talk today is entitled, oh, somebody's just, oh, is that for you to let them in, sis? Okay. Right. My talk today is called Recognizing Your Ancestral and Spiritual Lineage. And not just recognizing it, but being able to clear and heal it. Okay. And especially the experiences that you have in your spiritual and ancestral lineage, and especially the patterns that are kind of locked into that lineage, and the patterns that hold us back even as we speak today. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be talking about. My background is that I have quite a varied background, and actually a qualified school teacher, science teacher, but I have been running and the founder of the Accelerated Learning and Therapy Centre since 1996. And it's a strange centre because it has my education. Some parts of it is a straight maths, English and science for primary and secondary school children, and just teaching them, mainly on a Saturday evening classes, one-to-ones. And during this lockdown time, it's been online all day for some children. But the other side of it is the complementary health, which ranges from clinical kinesiology, things like reflexology, which are things that people more know, right through to the less known, what I now call also energy healing. And the talk I'm doing today is more energy healing that I do, and the info through doing this particular modality of health and healing since 1995-96 kind of time. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to jump that bit. Okay, I'm also I forget this bit. I'm also a yoga teacher, and I learned through for 4 or 5 years studying with the British Wheel of Yoga. Really enjoyed that process because I just found that I really took to yoga in an amazing way. But because I loved it so much, it also made me think there must be something in my ancestry and in my about this that is not just we've taken it from the Indians and via the Europeans via the Indians. There must be something African about this. And doing further research, I then discovered the Kemetic yoga and the African yoga, who, depending on who's doing it, there's a brother in this country called Pablo Imani who does the African yoga. But I don't know, I do everything by instinct, and my instinct wasn't to work with him, but to go to Jamaica. And I worked with Yasser Lawrence and he does the kinetic yoga out there. I suppose gave me an opportunity to go to Jamaica. Can you all hear me? Yeah. Can you all hear me? Yeah. Okay. So, okay.
You stand forward, because you know when you step back, it's like you're step back into your background.
That strange background. That's why I didn't want it there. But yeah, okay, I'll try and stand. I'll try and stand still. But I am a bit of a wanderer. That's why I wanted.
I've seen you
stand up when I. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, when anything I do it standing, do my DJ thing. But anyway, I'll try and stand still and stand still. I'm a bit of a dancer even when I'm talking. Yeah. Anyway, kinetic yoga teacher, as well as a British Wheel of Yoga teacher, and I've been doing for the last. So that's all my and so all these things somehow come together on a daily basis for me. It's kind of become a lifestyle, and it's also become a way of working with myself first and foremost, and then working with others as well. So how did I get into healing? It was really due to, I'm somebody that doesn't have any patience. I have a very low threshold and very low tolerance for that, that I consider to be either mentally, emotionally or physically uncomfortable. So I'm not somebody that if I have a little twinge in my back that will say, oh, it's just one of those things. I'm not somebody who would just ignore the symptoms of, you know, I'm not that I've got diabetes, but if I did, I wouldn't be one to ignore that. I got into, you know, like for example, when my daughter was a baby, my boys who were older than her were fine, no issues, but then comes my daughter 6 years after the last son, and she had, for some reason, she developed this asthma thing. My suspicion it was due to the MMR vaccine, which I but I don't. When I was asking the doctors, why is she got this asthma, and the doctors were saying, well, lots of children have it. It's one of those things. And I thought, no, because I can feel the pumps and everything that they gave me to give her, literally draining the life force out of her. And as a mother, I could feel that. So I knew that I had to look into it a little bit more. I wasn't prepared to accept that as an excuse. So I went in, I kind of looked at, that's what really pushed me from being an ordinary science teacher, and no, I wasn't doing the therapies then really, but I was from a science teacher to bring in the health and healing into it. I had to go on an exploration of how to heal my daughter from her asthma, and I found a method called kinesiology, which I went to where was he? He was in Islington, and dealt with all of it then. And I went on his courses and learned to be a clinical kinesiologist back in 1995. And I was working with people. Doing this clinical kinesiology. You know, people were getting better. People were improving in health. Then it felt like I hit like a little bit of a glass ceiling. It's like, why is it not working anymore? You know, when you become confident, oh yeah, this works, that works, yeah, I can just do this and they'll be all right. All of a sudden, that stopped, or it wasn't as a sure thing. So exploring a little bit, okay, one of the things I'll say is that I think the reason why I've come to most of what I've come to is because I ask a lot of questions. Why this? Why that? Why she got asthma? Why has this person got that? Why is it now at this stage that this modality isn't working with everybody? And again, I get an answer, and I realize that actually it's not just the mental, emotional, and physical issues that need to be dealt with, because that was what the kinesiology was mainly dealing with. It had to, all those things, what came before them was the spiritual aspects. You know, everything was seated in the spiritual aspects of our lives, and then the mental, emotional, physical is kind of coming out of that. Okay, the thing I can align it to is the simple compound of water. The unseen part of water is the bit that we call air or steam. We call it steam. It's still the same formula, H2O, but it's made out of it, but it's just steam, and we can't see it. When it's out there, when it's steamy, we don't know, but it's very much there. Then that steam can condense to something that's a bit more similar to our emotions, which is more flowing, which is like the water. And then that crystallizes into something more solid, which the same water we call ice. So you know, our spiritual makeup is a little bit like that. They're all the aspects are there and are in existence, and and basically that's what makes us up. Okay, and all the aspects have to be, come together and in order to work. And for example, we've been talking about health. The physical body is a bit like the ice. By the time you have a symptom in the body, then you must know that already there's probably an emotional element to it that's probably been ignored or not dealt with. And even before that, there would have been the spiritual element and aspect to that, as a root to that illness. And so, you know, you've got the part that just is there spiritually, and the spiritual bodies of the different levels of our spiritual bodies, because there's more than one. It's not just one spiritual body. There's like a range of them, all that have different, that work with different aspects of ourselves to make us who we are. Okay, and then it would have condensed down into the liquid, more emotional, mental, emotional, that's a little more dense, and then before it crystallizes to become an actual physical symptom that we could recognize as a physical illness. And that's not just with illnesses, that's the same with everything really. Anything that we manifest, whether it's good or bad, physical issues or other issues, even things like the things we can do as a, you know, I don't know, how for example, money, what we do with money, how money works for us, how relationships work for us, how our creativity works for us. There's always that spiritual element, the emotional element, the mental element, and then the physical manifestation as a concrete manifestation that we can actually see. So, so that, I don't know if everybody's following me. So, you know, that's some of the things I am able to say to you at this moment. So today I want to bring, because it's such a wide topic and I could stand and talk about it all day when I'm really teaching how to do this, because I do actually teach this as well. It is actually a 3-day course and that. So I'm just trying to condense it and also narrow the focus of it to what I've come to speak about today, which is recognizing your ancestral and spiritual lineage whilst clearing and healing its experiences and patterns that are holding you back. Okay. Why do I want to say issue? And we were, say, in counselling, or we're telling somebody about it. Normally we talk about what we're conscious of. Yeah, we'll say, well, when I was younger, I was treated like this by A, B, and C, and as a result, you know, I'm a little bit like this now. And doing counselling, that's kind of the general gist of how things are explained. And that's true. That is an aspect that's important. Most of us that I feel are here today have kind of gone beyond something like that. Most people that come into my presence when I'm working and who I end up having talks with and so on, who are interested in this topic, I've found from my experience that they've gone beyond I'm here to sort this out. They're here because they've gone past that. They've read books, they've done the affirmations, they've done this course, they've done that course, they've learned this and that, and somehow they find they reach certain glass ceilings, or they keep defaulting back to certain issues and challenges that seem to keep repeating in their lives, right? So it happens to all of us on a personal level, and I don't know anybody who can't just look back at their kind of history of themselves and think, yeah, that's a tendency that I always seem to have, and it's something I have to work really hard on to keep at bay, or no matter how many things I do to sort it out, here am I back there again, you know? So these are the type of things that I'm interested in terms of my, you know, in exploring those. I realize again that hidden spiritual element that's coming from not just even the current lifetime that we are aware of, but it's also coming from parts of us that, you know, number one, it's lodged not in the conscious mind, but in the subconscious mind, as you know, means below. The subconscious mind, it's always busy. So for example, today I'm doing this talk and you're hearing what I'm saying, and I hope, you know, sure, but you're not really conscious of maybe is that, you know, the colors behind me, I don't know, the shape of my nose or the way I've tied my scarf and anything else, you know, even maybe the smell of something in your house, maybe someone's cooking, it's all happening at the same time. And you're not even really aware of that because you're so focused on really what you're actually doing, which is listening to this presentation. But might well be some years to come when the exact right colors, shape of somebody's nose, a particular smell you smell, and all of a sudden it will bring back not just this talk, but everything else that went around it. So we didn't even, and you think, where's that come from? But actually, it's everything that we experience is stored in the subconscious mind. It's like this constant camera that's going around, listening, recording everything. The good, and inside there you've got the good, the bad, and the not so good. Yeah, and you've also got, and so that's fine, that's just how we work. But from time to time, whatever's in there comes up. If what's in there, if what's been recorded is what we might describe as an experience, not just from the current, present, past life, but even from past incarnations, everything on each incarnation, it all gets downloaded. It all gets downloaded in conscious mind. So it's just there waiting. And if what's in there is something that we regard as something positive, those are the things that all of us, I'm sure, if we look at our lives, we think, right, for example, I'm particularly good with children. So I'm sure in my whole record, as we call them, of all of lifetimes and in this dimension, but all different experiences, dimensions and parallels in which we exist. You know, if something in there is a good thing, that's one of the things I seem to do with ease and very well. Then sometimes you get certain things where you have to work a little bit harder in order to achieve something or get over something or raise yourself up. And those are the things that are called a not so, you kind of get move, even though they may not look so good in the beginning. But there are some things I'm sure you all recognize that you work hard, you do all sorts of things to overcome, and you bang, you're there again. It might be types of relationships you seem to attract, types of job situations you seem to attract. Some people may be prone to bullying, some people prone, you don't know, we've all got different things. Some people are good at earning money but aren't good at keeping it. Some people can't even earn the money or whatever. You know, we've all got different things, and so one has to look into themselves and just see, what is my issue? And those issues we don't have to live with, because those issues are they're coming from somewhere. So when I'm talking about the subconscious mind recording everything, that's part of your spiritual makeup, just recording all of those things, and that becomes part of your spiritual lineage. Linked to that is your ancestral lineage, which comes more from what runs through your actual physical body, your veins and your brain, your memories, your things in your DNA, that's just lodged in your DNA that the body remembers. So, for example, being prone to particular illnesses, you know, is a similar type of thing. Having, or it may not even just be that. It may be just things that you do that block you, that stop you from progressing, stop you from rising, and it just might be that has come there as a result of you know, vows that ancestors may have taken in the past, things that ancestors may have done that at the time served them, but in this time does not serve us. Yeah. So there's things like that. There might be things our ancestors may have done. So it's interesting to hear Brother Israel say that the other day, that I was kind of a bit to say this, because we do talk a lot about our ancestors, and there's this assumption that all ancestors are gods and amazing, and indeed they are in their own way, because whether they did good or not so good, it's all part of the progress of humans and our spiritual beings, and the whole thing is learning, and somehow through thick and thin we are all rising. And I'll talk a bit more about that rise in a little while. I won't say later, because I know that time is running and passing, and I know I've got a whole hour, but I also know that that goes really fast once I start talking. So I'm trying to race through as much as I can. It's a big topic, and I'm just trying to shovel it through this hour. Anyway, so what have I said? So we talked about, so in terms of what is the difference between the ancestral and spiritual? The spiritual is, let me see. It's more like, as I said, past life memories from incarnations held in the subconscious, which are silently influencing who we are, what we do, and how we respond to things. Okay, it's also linked, our spiritual programming is also linked to our divine purpose. So everybody, as I always say, people hear me say, none of our lives are a mistake. And it doesn't matter how difficult it might look. I know we as people of the African origin, with all of the struggle that goes with it, there's no mistake. We're not, you know, and in fact, I would take a stand further and say, we are not victims. There is no such thing as a victim, you know. There is just learning, and there is just growth and purpose. Okay, and it's a kind of challenging thing to say to people who feel feeling downtrodden and victimized, but actually I'm going to say it because it is the reality. I think back in the day when I learned this stuff, I was a bit scared to say that because it just seemed so revolutionary to say that. But actually, after years and years and years since '95 of working on different levels, clearing people's programming and blocks and limited self-limiting beliefs and all sorts of other things I've been working with, I can honestly say now, at least through experience, not just through the learning, but through the experience, that this is so. Okay, so we all have a divine purpose. We all are working towards some kind of enlightenment. Some of us can do it, maybe we'll finish that off in this lifetime. Some of us may choose to come again. Why is it saying admit? I've just admitted some. Sister Jean, have I become a host or something? I've just admitted somebody into the, I hope it's a good person. It's just popped up on my screen to admit someone.
Because you might be doing some sharing, I've made you co-host, so naturally you're hearing. So just ignore that. I'll deal with that.
Ignore that, you deal with it. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I was thinking, why can I have this feels like my yoga class. Okay, so you know, and then we need to ask ourselves. Like I always wonder, you know, why am I this version of myself? Why am I me? Why am I this version of me in this time? Okay, because over the lifetimes, this spiritual being that is now housed in this Nkechi body that everybody knows, has been other things. But so the question, you know, and it may have been other things from other cultures and even things that we don't normally recognize as, say, human. And you know, we've all been, the spiritual being is just what it is, and the different experiences are what they are. But the question is, why who I am? And this is a question I'm asking myself, but it's a question we should all be asking ourselves. Why are we who we are, this version of ourselves in this time? Okay, and furthermore, why have we come into this particular family that we've come into, and particular community that we've come into in this time as well? Okay. And yes, we talk a lot about, there's a lot of negative talk around us, isn't there? And we're not going to be bothering with that, you know, because I've just learned over the years not to. And I know that in this, because I was listening to somebody else, I think another time, and I started to say something and I was shut down because they didn't want us to keep on chanting the same old thing. And it's true, we shouldn't, you know, but we do a lot of talk around each other. And I was gonna say it, and then I was gonna go on to say that we shouldn't. So let myself say what I had to say, and it's true. You know, we say all these negative things about no unity, no trust. Okay, and to me, to make is futile. It doesn't really lead to anything. It's just a statement, and in fact, it's almost like an affirmation. So I'm going to say right now that we should let today be the last day, if you're ever going to say it, to say these things, because it is like a self-fulfilling. You know, we actually are more powerful than what we think. When we say these things, we are placing them back into that subconscious mind that I was talking about earlier, and we're keeping them that part of that sort of lineage of negativity to go in. You know, what will make a little bit more sense is if people may ask, you know, why are we like that? You know, why that make a bit more sense, because the beautiful thing about a question desires an answer, and an answer leads to learning and understanding. So rather than just sort of state, we can actually answer, we can actually ask questions. All the things I've come to know and learn has been the end result of me asking a question. Why? Unfortunately, and some people do ask that question, and then again, the answers need to be thought about very carefully. It's easy just to say, oh, we're like this because of slavery, because of you know, and then leave it there. We run into that same brick wall again when we just make a statement like that and leave it there. You know, and that feeling of helplessness, because okay, when we are here now doing what we're doing, we're being who we are. I wasn't there during slavery, you know. I'm here in this kind of version of modern day slavery, where you're working too hard, too many hours, don't have enough time for your children, etc. But all those old things that we say have caused us to be the way we are, I wasn't there then. So I don't really know. All I know is the here and the now. And all I need to know is, you know, what I want to know is, you know, why am I here now? Because your purpose is the only real reason you're here in this time, in this body, okay? And it's really important that we ask these questions and ask them deeply and really explore the answers. I'm not saying we should ignore history, because of course we shouldn't ignore history. And of course, I'm not saying we shouldn't even learn from history. But what I am saying is that we need to take those questions a lot further and ask, why in this time are we like this? And it is a big task, and I think many of us have been floundering and what's the word you say when you kind of putting off the inevitable, but you have to do it anyway. And it reminds me sometimes when I think of our people, it's a bit like when I was doing my master's degree a few years ago, and you know, you've got that assignment. You've picked yourself up because you've decided, you've signed up for this course, and it's to bring it into alignment with what I'm talking about. When we come into this planet in this time, we make a certain choice about which family we come through, which bodies we through, which experiences we're going to have for our learning to elevate and enlightenment, because every soul is looking for this enlightenment, looking for this elevation. Okay, so we choose what is going to be the best route for this. And so my trail of thoughts is gone. Yeah, we make these choices, and so therefore, yes, I was just saying about this, you know, you've got an assignment. So coming down to this planet and this incarnation is a bit like going to college, and we're coming to learn. Why are we learning? Like when I did my master's a few years ago, with my big old self, I was 50 plus doing it. Why? Because I just wanted to take my levels of certain things a little bit higher. And that's what we do when we come down to this incarnation. We're taking ourselves further and higher. And so we choose this family, this melanated body, these experiences, because we're coming as evolved souls. We're not coming with as new learners. So my understanding is this melanated body that we've chosen to come in is a kind of almost like a reflection, because the challenge, the beauty and the responsibility that goes with this, our body, right? And the challenges also is only those of evolved souls can really can manage it like we are managing it. Do you understand? But that doesn't mean we have to, we still have to do the assignments. Okay, we still have to do the assignments. We can't keep putting off the assignment, because if we've signed up to come here and be here through our spiritual and ancestral lineage, then we have to do those assignments. And for a long time, we have we've been putting it off. But you know, now with what we're going through now, with the planet going through what it's going through, you know, we are now really kind of this point. An exciting time, because you know, I just remember being in the same room with my papers here, papers there, sorting out this, pulling that together, doing that.
Sis, you're coming in and out.
Oh, okay, sorry, I'm here.
You're gonna have to kind of repeat that, because you're coming in and out. You've been freezing and stopping.
Oh, really? Oh, it looks so normal from my end, but has it been? Let me just make sure my internet's.
It just and it comes up that your network is low. You know, the connection.
Oh, sorry about this. Yes, just something I will. Hopefully, we're okay.
All right.
Okay. So, what did you not hear? What was the last thing you heard?
You froze. I think it was just about a minute or so before I stopped you. You know, you speak and then you froze.
Okay. Oh, I'll go back a little bit, and I'm just going to say, because I think I was getting a bit carried away there anyway. So we've come into this body, and it's been by a certain, like a choice of ours. And the choice is that we want to further our growth, and we've come into these amazing melanated bodies because the responsibility that our bodies carry means that we can handle it, basically. Yeah, and the kind of the challenge of the growth. In fact, it's as if we've not just come to do a master's, we've come down here to do a PhD. So we mean business, all right? And so with that PhD that we're doing, this is life and learning through this melanated body, you know, we have got to get the assignments done. Okay, we've got to get the work done. And what is that PhD in? I'll say that to understand the ultimate divine source, which is love. Okay, there is nothing, there's no energy greater than love, and to be able to express love in its ultimate form is one of the main aims of everything, and the steps we take to get to that stage where it's done with, we do it with ease, is part of our goal in life. And so when it comes to, so we just have to get on with it. What does it mean? It means that we should no longer just be looking at things on the surface, which we've been doing quite a bit of. It means we have to go deeper. And it means also aligning fully with the transformation that's happening in the planet at the moment. So it's not been by mistake that these people have chosen to put us on lockdown. This life is really interesting, because on the one level, there's this thing that they're doing this and they're doing that and they're locking us down and they are doing that. And I do feel that the negative reasons why they're doing it are still valid. But the thing is, we underestimate how powerful we are as souls to actually attract what we need for our elevation. So they might be doing all these, this, that, and the other, as all the different conspiracies are saying. But we're also doing our thing as well. You know, we are also doing our growth, and we're also doing our elevation. And so the lockdown, to me and to many people that I know, has been perfect. It's been a real divine time to be still, to reflect, to grow, and to actually to kind of let go of lots of stuff that we were just dragging around before, all the clutter in our head, everything else. And I pray that most of us here made good use of this time to do that, to meditate, to do extra yoga classes, to read extra, you name it, spend time with families, recognize what's important, understand that love is the ultimate, you know, thing. And so, and while this has all been happening, the planet has also been transcending. Over the last number of hundreds of years, there's been this, where we've been stuck in this, what I can only describe as a third density kind of existence, where the ego, you know, where people have been self-serving, egocentric, the idea of the polarity, this or that, the disunity, that's all been part of the third density existence. And it's not just the Babylonians in it that have been exerting this on the planet. We too have been somehow indulging it, which is one of the reasons why we have found it hard to do some of the things we've needed to transcend. Having said that, third density for a while now, I would say, we've been coming out of that into what I'll call the fourth density since about, say, 2015. But the problem is, those that have been kind of leading this third density, Babylonians, Illuminati, you name, whatever you want to call them, I don't know. Anyway, they've been kind of putting up a front as if to say, well, you know, everything's the same as it's always been, so, you know, let's just keep going the way we've been going. And it's made it hard for us to really burst forth. And what's fourth density about? That's more heart-centered stuff. The third density was about solar plexus, if you're looking at the chakras. That's about self. And, you know, if you're feeling, anytime, if you notice, if you feel vulnerable or you feel strongly about something, you feel it in your solar plexus, because that's your ego going, you know. When you're more about serving others and helping others and unifying with others, then it's more in the heart that you feel that here. You're not feeling it here. It's more in the heart center. So the fourth density transition of the planet, which is really, you know, what we've been battling. There's been this, it's been trying, but it's been like that. So it's, you know, and in fact, what has actually been happening now is that the planet is actually coming even out of the never mind the third, never mind the fourth, it's going into the fifth now, right? The fifth and then beyond. And the fifth is as if during this time especially, and especially since yesterday, and it seemed I was so excited. Well, not yesterday, was it? Yeah, yesterday, the astrologers that were here talking at the Mulgavi village on Friday talked a lot about it. I'm not an astrologist, so I'm not very good at talking about all of that in detail, but I have vague awarenesses of the alignment of what the astrologers are saying to the way I work. And in this time, there's been a particular juncture at this time that's brought in the fifth density, never to return to anything else. So our job is to really just throw away. That's why I talked about the healing and the clearing of the ancestral and spiritual lineage, so that you come now in this time light as a feather, you know, ready just to be with your wisdom. So what is it about now? What is it? The fifth density is about realignment of and full realization of your purpose, and alignment with your God self, your divine self. That's what it's about. It's about not just saying it in the head, you know, which is what religion kind of did for us, but really being it. It's about greater manifestation of your goals and intentions. So thought, so done, so said, so done, with ease, you know. It's about greater inner knowing, greater wisdom and greater discernment. And discernment is really powerless, my most favorite word, because to be able to discern means that you are able to know, make choices with confidence, know which steps to take to go forward, you know, we know which people to trust from what not to trust. So there'll be no longer living in fear, because what the lack of trust that we talk about that's amongst us and all that is really as a result of fear. So to be able to discern, it takes that away. There's no need to not trust that person, because you can look at that person and see and just know who they are. So that's what being within the fifth density is about. It's also about the higher vibration, to be vibrating on this kind of level. I call it the magic carpet, just on a vibe, you know. And it's also about being still as well, being able to stop, to meditate, to feel, to see, to know, you know. That is what this time is about, okay? And I was told even that when I do this talk, I should really make sure I get this across, and I'm not told as in spirit, I get told, you know, what to present. I do very much work in that way. Even my radio show on Monday and a Wednesday, I don't do a playlist because if I do a playlist on the Monday morning ready for the Monday evening, or on a Sunday ready for Monday, the energy changes by some time it's Monday evening and the playlist means nothing. So I in the end, I just have to go with what the spirit of the time and talk. And I was just told I needed to let people understand what I'm talking about now. And it's not for everybody that's really going to get it, but many people will. And it is what we call the minority of the minorities, like those of us that are here today are the people that are going to understand that. So just to round off, I'm just going to quickly go over very, very quickly, because like I said, it is a big topic and I've just rushed through, and I hope I've made some sense to people. I've not been able to look at all the comments, so I'll look at them in a little bit. So I'll give you some examples of some of the ancestral clearings that we need to do. It's the things like old beliefs that we may have inherited through our DNA or through our, you know, whichever way we may have inherited it. Things like old sacrifices that we may have, that, you know, in ancestors may have made on that were maybe even necessary at that time but don't serve us now. Things like old vows. These are the examples of the kind of things I've had to clear for people. Old vows that somewhere in their either spiritual or ancestral lineage that they've made in the past. Old experiences, wrong moves, wrong ideas that are now out of date. Slavery obviously is one of them. Colonialism is another one, and all those other things that go with it. Old attitudes, old desires. And usually the clearing needs to go up to a minimum at least 4 levels, quite often 7 levels back, to really just kind of clear it out properly from all that energy. Because how do we hold it? We hold it as it's held as energy. All right, so we have to clear that. That's why I call it also energy clear. We have to clear that energy in order to rid ourselves of it completely. And we clear it on all different levels. We don't just say, well, I'm clearing it based on what's happened here in this dimension that we know. We clear it even on all the hidden dimensions that we exist on, because our spiritual selves isn't confined to this one body and this one dimension that we recognize ourselves in now. Our spirit can be in many. And so when we're really working with ourselves, we need to work on all those levels. So even if you're doing your like meditations and you're thinking of doing that clearing through your meditation, you have to recognize and remember all these different aspects of yourself that you've got to work with. Otherwise, if there's a little bit left over, you might find you're still stuck. It's a bit deep and complex, but it is something that that's why I said about getting that assignment done and need to do. Because why is it important? There's other things. There's things like issues around work and success. There's issues around race beliefs. There's guilts that we carry, old guilts that stop us, and you know, of the things we may have done in past lives that we don't do now, but is somehow the guilt is still there, so it can cause forms of self-punishing ourselves. It may stop us from being fully successful, because maybe in past we may have been rich and didn't honor that blessing in the way we should have done, so now there's a kind of guilt, so that may make issues with money or poverty. So ancestral healing and clearing is really important. Okay, and yeah, so that's, like I said, I think, yeah, and there's different, as those themes do actually have a reflection of the kind of things that have happened in their lives. They also get to understand the relationships that they have as well, because the work also builds a picture of the relationships. So it could be your relationship with yourself, your relationship with what I only can explain as your twin souls. These are the souls. If you think of the family of souls as a flower, okay, then the flower has many petals, and you're in one of the petals, and anyone in the same petal, any soul that's in the same petal as you can be regarded as your twin soul, and you and them have a very close interaction, and very it's almost like a oneness with you and them, and it's for better or for worse relationship as well. So the twin soul, you could be one that's really easy and one that could be really discordant. Either way, you're learning from that person in a very profound way. Anybody in the same flower that's the only way I can describe this thing, but not in the same petal, is your flame mate. And that's the flame mate is equivalent to you having a relationship, not with yourself, but with your inner circle of family, like brothers, sisters, mum, dad. It may not necessarily be your spiritual, your soul family aren't necessarily your blood family, but quite often sometimes they are. So again, you need to find out who your soul family is, and it's quite easy for me to do that. It's one of the things to do, so that you can get to understand these relationships. And then you've got the soulmates, and the soulmates are actually not as tight as the twin flames and the flame mates. The soulmates are more like distant relatives and friends. They're kind of those kind of slightly looser relationships that we have, where we don't get relatives and friends as affected by them as we are ourselves, which is the twin soul, or the flame mates, which is our immediate family. So these are the different things that we can learn. There's so much more for us to learn, and that's why I was talking about that PhD and getting those assignments done, being prepared to kind of delve a bit deeper, clear out any old stuff, and heal. Because it's a bit like if I was to just empty out this room and clear it all out, I'll probably discover that scratch on the floor, that pothole in the wall, this, that, and the other. So when you clear it out, you also have to heal and replace with good, and so these are the things that we need to do, and this is the time for it, because the whole planet and ourselves are really transforming, and we are at the forefront of it. We are at the forefront of that transformation, and we have chosen to do this. And so, like I said, like being at college, you choose to go there, you have to get those assignments done, so that your ultimate goal and your life's purpose is realized. And if you don't do it this time, you're just gonna have to come back and then do it again another time, because not everybody's ready to do it when they're ready to do it. But having said that, many people in this time, this kind of a crucial time, are quite ready. So yeah, so I think that's enough for now. I I feel as if I've exhausted most of what I could say. I think it'd be easy if I answered more any questions if you have now. That's okay.
So much, thank you so much. Even as I said, the quality was a bit poor because your internet connection was, as I said, was coming in and out, and
yeah,
and people also had problems sort of like hearing some of the words, because some of it was missing. But if anybody's got any questions, please.
Greetings.
Greetings.
It's not a question as such. It's just, can you hear me okay?
Is it Sandra or Sheila?
It's Sandra.
Hi, Sandra.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
I can hear you very well.
Okay.
I can hear you clearly.
All right. Sorry, I'm being put off by movements. Just to say,
you though.
It's not a
but question. I can hear you.
It's not a question. It's just to say that your experiences sounds very much like mine's.
Oh.
Down to the T. Even the studying, even the age. And even when you spoke about...
You mean the experiences of this journey to come to this point, and the spiritual understanding that has come with it.
And to study.
Well, we'll leave your number. Let's talk. Or you can say, I'll leave mine. I'll put mine up and we can talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, though. It is a shame about the connection, but I was picking up on different bits and stuff. So thank you much. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you too. Nice. It's good to know that it's not complete alien to everybody. No. Then what I'm talking about. Any other questions, please?
Hi. You said something about we are at the forefront. Can you explain that? Didn't understand what you meant.
Yeah. Okay, we are at the forefront of the transformation, yeah? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Because that goes back to the understanding that, or my understanding that the souls are, we are part of the whole, and when I say the whole, to me we are a reflection of God or Creator. Yeah, all of us are part of the one, and so we are reflections of that. And then and my understanding of God or the Creator isn't just a stagnant being. Through ourselves and through our experiences and the growth that goes through our experiences and the expansion that goes with our experiences, then the God within, and therefore God itself or himself or herself, is constantly expanding. So we are the ones that effect that through our growth and experience. Okay.
Okay.
So souls are a bit like I've got my apple tree out there, and I'm always fascinated that on the same tree you have some apples that come out in the summer all small and shriveled, and on the same tree you get some apples that come out all big and fat and juicy and ripe, and we are a little bit like that. And it's not to say there's anything wrong with the small shriveled apples. It's just that they're a little bit underdeveloped, and others are just medium developed, and some are super ripe, and so we're a bit like that. We're constantly growing and evolving, and we're all at different stages and levels, and so we choose some of the experiences we go through as we come into this lifetime. Now, to come into this lifetime choosing to be a soul of African origin is quite a challenging thing. Because of the challenges we go through, but also because of the responsibility that we have. And we do have that responsibility because we look at the world, everyone wants to take from us. Why? Because we have everything. We have everything in our land. We have everything in our culture that other people are. I was even amazed, because when you're just trying to just learn something and you're just trying to not really necessarily pertain it to yourself, but then you start to feel it, then you research and you realize, wow, even that came from us. Like for example, my yoga, through the Kemetic yoga, got to find out that a lot of the contemporary yoga, when you look in the pyramids, you see the postures that they do in the different asanas or postures that they do in contemporary yoga, but there's even more. So that's why you realize it's all come from there. It's come from Egypt. It's come from our people, and so I'm thinking even yoga as well. So I can't think of anything on this planet that hasn't come from the African diaspora and the African people. And even those of us in the diaspora, with the way we've developed music, for example, my favorite reggae music, it's in the diaspora that it came about, but now the whole world is piggybacking on it, and some people even want to take it over. All right. And so that's why I stand, that's my little fight. Make sure I as a Nubian queen, get to play that roots rock reggae music. That's just one of my little beefs about everything. But I also have a love for the music still. But so that's why I say that. I don't know if that answers your question. Does it answer your question? Was that Sheila?
Yeah, it was Sheila. Sheila? You still there?
Yeah. Any other questions?
I have a question. You do clearing? Because I know you do ancestral clearing and all of that. I mean, when somebody comes to you, I don't know if can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Right. And when somebody comes to you, I mean, how would we know what we need clearing?
That's a really good question.
Right.
Some people come with a bit of an it's interesting because I think the reason why I'm not known so well is because I'm more known for my music or my teaching or even my yoga. But this is a big part of my work, but I don't make noise about it because how do you explain it in an everyday way? It's really deep and not everybody's really ready. So you can't just go out there and go, whoa, I'm going to hear you. I'm going to do the spiritual clearing on you. It's just people think she's mad. So I more listen to what people are saying to me about their life. And then I can sense, because there's a saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Right.
So I'm a very strong believer of that, especially when it comes to this work that I do. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So when the student is ready, they speak to me, and then they may not be saying, can you do some spiritual clearing on me? But from what they're expressing, I know that's what they need. And so then when I suggest something like it, it's like, yeah, that's it. And then they come. It's like that. They kind of get, so they have that kind of understanding. Sometimes they don't know, but something in them just says, I need to see you. So the people when they start to work on this level, it becomes very intuitive, very sort of like, I don't get it, but I know I need to be there. It becomes more like that. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about discern. You just get to become knowing and discerning, because and there's always a difference. It's life-changing, the work that I do. People's lives change. The glass ceiling they've been knocking on for goodness knows how long kind of goes shoo, and they can just rise the way they need to rise, letting go of stuff, because we're already perfect. We're already who we're meant to be. The only thing that stops us from being who that we're meant to be is the kind of stuff we're carrying around, the old baggage and old stuff. So that's why clearing, to me, is a very important part. It's a bit like the brother earlier was talking about detoxing. Before you start anything new, and before you rise, before you improve your health, you have to detox. You have to fast intermittently. Even me right now, I'm fasting at the moment because I feel at this time with what's going on, and for my focus and my cleansing, to help to raise what's going on even further, fasting I've been doing 30 days. I don't even know what day I'm on. Has been an important part of that process, so people kind of get to know. Other times they don't know at all, but they're just curious. But I work with, when I do the work, I work with a part of us that all of us have, which is called the high self, or the superconscious, or the God within, or to put it in Kemetic terms, Osir. Osir is the part of us, because what I've done is like, you look for all the different languages, the way it's expressed, and you found the one that you think, oh, that's Osir. So that's why I call it Osir energy clearing, because I want to reflect my language or my expression of it. But that part of us is the part of us that I use to do the work. I channel the work. I do it as a form of like channeling, and as I start to channel with my intention to work with that person, the person self also like aligns with mine. Information between us is shared. The high self, or of what I'm talking about, the Osir part of us is the part of us that knows, is all knowing, and we all have it. But sometimes we're not used to working with it. We all have it, but we're just not used to working with it because we've not been taught to work with it. We've been taught to be distracted by all sorts of other things. So we learn to not trust ourselves, that voice within, the all-knowing. So I work with the all-knowing, and so I will channel, and I will tell them what they need. So it's not like counseling. They don't have to say, my life is, they might come and say, I need this sorting, that sorting, and that sorting, do your thing. And I'll go, okay, let's see. And then I'll open up. My only important thing is that I have to be a clear channel. I can't bring ego into it. I can't have judgments. I can't have, so anything people come with, I'm just completely neutral. So it just comes without there any distortion of what's meant to come. And then, in fact, once I come, I write it all down, what comes, we talk about it, and sometimes it ends up being reverse counselling, because when they see what comes down, they think, they start to recognise their life in the situation, you understand? And then they might begin to then reason and talk about it if they want to. So you get some of the people that talk a lot when during the process, because I'm very conscious. There's no regression. I do the work consciously. They're conscious, and the work is just a bit like how I'm talking now. That's what I'll be doing that work, talking to you like I'm talking now. There's no chanting. There's no anything, you know, untoward. There's no going into regression like they do in hypnotherapy. There's none of that. It's the chant, because when you're working with high self, it's just a knowing. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do any ritual or anything. It's just a knowing, just to recognize that oneness I have with that aspect of me, and help the person to align themselves as well. And then the work is done. It's actually very simple, and really fascinating and really fantastic to do. And so that's really how it's done. So it's really interesting. So I didn't really explain all that. I was just more talking about the whole concept of ancestral clearing and alignment, but not directly. I wasn't really talking about my practice, but that is how the work is done. Does that answer your question, Sister Jean?
Yes, it does. Thank you. It does. It does. And
Okay.
One thing that fascinates me as well.
Yeah.
With how do you know? How do you become what you are, like a channeler or a seer? I mean, how do you know, and how do you get to share that with other people?
Because I don't know. I saw at the time I needed it for myself. I was one of these lucky persons. I found it when I was in my 30s, and I had things I needed to have changed in my life, and I tried different things. I tried counselling, I tried hypnotherapy, I tried a few other bits, and it's like, I don't need these things. I don't need to talk forever in counselling. I went to one counselling session. It's like, no, I don't need to talk about what my mother did and my father that. You know, I knew that there was something, and I'm also, like I said, I'm very impatient. I want things to be sorted out quickly, like now. I don't want to be waiting and going for something that's going to take forever. So I kind of kept saying, there must be something else. There must be something that can sort this issue out like quickly. And then I just found somebody that actually taught me how to do it. And I started teaching it as well back in because this was about 95, 96. I taught it for the first few years until about 2006. I was teaching it very regularly, but I found that people weren't fully ready. So not everybody that I was teaching it. Some people do. Some people use it, like my beautiful brother Sion that spoke a few days ago. He came on one of my courses. Brother Stephen Sally's been on one. You know, there's a few people that have been, and some are using it, or some are using some of the concepts. They may not necessarily be doing the actual clearing as such, but they're using some of the concepts. So there have people have used it, but I felt that there wasn't enough people ready at the time. But I feel it's time now, and I've been told by spirit that I need to stop hiding in the shadows with this work. That's what I said to you. Let me do talking on your things, sis, because I feel as if it's time for me to really share, because we are at that juncture where people do need to just, you know, really make a move, really. That's when I can describe it, putting it in our terminology. People have to make a move now, you know, and just and just get this thing done once and for all, and not hold back, you know. And I've kind of had to kind of push myself forward and go, all right, then I'll talk a bit more about it. But actually, during this lockdown time, it's interesting, especially March, April, May, and even this June. A lot of people it's like intuitively, I've done so much clearing work over this time. It's just been really interesting, you know, just because it's suddenly. It's become more prominent than my teaching, you know, because normally it was the students teaching maths, English and science that seemed to be the more bread and butter money kind of thing coming in. But the clearing has become forefront, and I think it's because of the time that we're in. And I had to also let go of my, what's the word? Because it is unusual, it makes more sense to say, I'm a teacher, than I'm a spiritual healer. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So sometimes even I have had to let go of wondering what people might think of me if I just say that and just say it, and then it's up to them now, because I've been told I'm not supposed to hide this work anymore. Just got to get on with it and help let people know, so that people can make the choices that they want, you know. And most people, once they hear about it, they do just think, right, I need to do this. So it is time. And our people, you know, we really need to just let go of a lot of stuff. You know, the whole thing about ourselves unifying, if you don't have, the brother said it just now about the health, if you don't have good health, if you're struggling with your own inner negativities, demons, fears, whatever you want to describe it as, and then somebody says to you, come along and help with this march or this talk or do this, whatever that we need to do to unify, then you're not motivated to do that, because you're still struggling with your own baggage. You understand? So we need to be light. We need to let go. You know, soldiers don't bring their whole household when they're going to war. They come with their little rucksack and their boots, and they're ready. And we, in some ways, we need to be a little bit like that. We need to just let go of any old stuff in any way that we can. So if there's a way we can improve our health, we should. If there's a way we can move and make ourselves fitter, we need to be. If we can clear out our baggage from the spiritual realms, mental, emotional, and physical realms, we should do that. If we, you know, we need to work on all levels. We can't just say, and that's why I do everything. I mean, this morning I went down to the Hackney Marshes and did my, you know, my 12,000 steps, which I do daily, you know, and then I came back and taught a yoga class, which started at 8:15 in the morning after I'd done that walk. I'm not joking. You know what I mean? I live the things that I do, I've come to understand that they need to be done to complete what you need to do as a person, as a people, as a person, as an individual. So if you want me to come and spend all day doing something, I can, because I've got the fitness level. You know, I can walk. If I need me to walk from here to Brixton, and not a problem. Do you understand? Because I'm used to doing that walking. So to me, we need to come out of our heads and just put our knowledge into action, and not hold back on, you know, just do everything. You know, if you're going to paint a house, you're not going to the whole house redecorate. You're not going to do everything and then just leave the bathroom all old from back in the 50s. You're going to modernize that as well, aren't you? You're not going to say if you're going to do something. That just reminds me of when I was doing my degree back in the day, back in Nottingham when I was a youngster. And I remember I didn't like it was a combined science degree, and one of the modules was computing, programming, and I didn't like it. And I remember thinking, I'm not doing that assignment. They're not going to notice. It's just one little thing, you know? And I remember coming back after the summer holidays, and there's this big sign up on the back in the day, weren't emails, was it? It was just the student notice board with a little piece of paper folded with my name on it. You haven't done your assignment. It's like, and that was like a wake-up call for me as a youngster. It's like, you can't miss anything out. You've got to do everything. Do you understand? And so I suppose I've lived like that ever since, you know, and life teaches me what I need to do. As soon as I think I'm on the path. Yeah, this is a bit like what I told you earlier when I was doing my when I was doing the clinical kinesiology and people were getting better, and all of a sudden, bang, they weren't getting better to the same rate and extent. Then I realized it was time for me to go further and now start to do the spiritual work that releases some of the energies so that people can actually finish getting better. So each time your life shows you what you need to do. And it's for you to take the action to make a difference, to take the action that's necessary. I was so enthralled with the young brother there, because he didn't know, he was just eating everything. Eat this, eat that, that tastes nice, oh, that bit of J2O. But the minute he realised, and I'm a bit the same, that actually that's the wrong action. That leads to this. That's led to this. He didn't need any long story. He didn't need anyone to say, "Oh, I'll do it next year." Oh yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. I shouldn't really be eating that as he eats it and continue. No, he just stopped everything there and then and got on with it. And that's why he is who he is today. And that's why he's doing what he's doing today. And he's a living example of that is how it works. You don't put off 22 tomorrow what you could actually be doing today, you know, and you don't leave anything out. You have to do everything, you know, and we're doing PhDs right now and we have to do them properly, you know, and that's it really. So yeah, I hope that's okay for everybody.
Anybody else got any more questions before we wrap up? I just want to ask as well, do you still do your lessons, your teaching? Do you still teach?
This method? Yeah. I'm starting to teach it again, yeah. Because it's time for me to, because I like to teach it because I like people to learn to do things for themselves as well. So you can come to me for the clearing, that's fine, but how many people am I going to clear? If I foresee people really wanting to get this clearing done, you know, how many can I do? And in fact, once you start clearing, I can give you your big initial clearing, which maybe like 2-3 sessions. It doesn't need more than that. Maximum sessions is 3. Sometimes it's 1. Quite often it's 2. You know, it's not something like you'll be doing forever. It's just 2 to 3 sessions, and that clears the big bulk. But then what happens is after maybe some months or some, you know, whatever, you know, as you go up again, you hit another glass ceiling, maybe another, bit like onion layers. Our lives are a bit like onion layers. Oh, and it might just be, I need to clear the stuff between myself and my dad so that that relationship can be more harmonious. Another time I had to clear a sister's brother that had issues with drugs, and just anger and all horrible stuff, and he was really threatening to her all the time. Did the clearing for her. She'd done her clearing, she was fine, but this thing kept coming up with the brother. Cleared the stuff between her and the brother. Now it's like they've actually got a good relationship. It's like even I've been doing it since '95, but I'm always excited to see the results. You know what I mean? It's always just like, wow, you know, I can't get over it sometimes, and I'm always excited to do it and to see the results. It's so simple and yet it's so profound and amazing, you know. So, but it'd be nice to see more people just doing for self, because if you've done your initial stuff with me and you've learned how to do it, then you can just clear you can clear your mum, dad, cousin, father, brother, sister, yourself, and all the different levels of yourself that come up as and when they come. You know, you can do like I do my big yearly clearing. I do a big one at the end of the year or beginning of the year, ready for a new year. This year I was told, you're not just going to do your one-day one. I ended up having to every morning wake up and clear something, because I was told in November, December, this year is going to transform. I didn't even know what it meant because I wasn't watching the news and I didn't know what way it was going to transform. If you look on my Facebook page, even before the lockdown, I've just got this thing that says, you know, look forward to this amazing transformation. I don't know, I put that up there only because that's what I was told that's what's going to happen. But I didn't know how it was going to happen because of the news. Because sometimes I wake up in the morning and I want my agenda to be in my head. I don't want the propaganda to be really be very discerning about what you in and what you let out, because all that gets programmed in you. You know, like what just happened with this whole thing with George Floyd. Anyway, you know, it went both ways. In some ways, it was very toxic, and for me, who's like a sensitive soul, you know, it's like, okay, oh no, I saw it, and I had to do a lot of clearing around the trauma and stuff, and I had to do a lot of clearing for the planet, because the planet was hurting. I could feel the hurting of the planet when it happened. But it was also a good opportunity because it's kind of, it almost turned, it was like a turning point. You know, I've had black people or people of African origin who would normally just run of the mill, never talked about going back to Africa before, not into anything roots, anything, suddenly say, I'm going back to Africa. And it's like, really? So it's really, really been an amazing opportunity. You know, people and I've heard my youngsters, have my daughter and her friends that used to just talk about this and that. Now there's like there's a serious vibe that's going on. It's like suddenly they realize, whoa, we need to sit up here, you know? So there's a chance for us to really unify now, and a chance for us to really work together and to heal. And also what's interesting, people from other cultures are saying, they're making their choice now. Are you gonna stand by and watch these injustices happening? Are you gonna just be what the whole, because at the end of the day, as I said, we're at the forefront. The world is not going to be a stable world until the African souls, people, right, are in balance again. Because we are at the center of the world, as Fela Kuti said, Africa, center of the world. Yeah, 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 yeah. You know, you got to be organized. I don't know the words, but it's a brilliant song. Look for it on YouTube. It's Africa, center of the world by Fela Kuti. All right, and he, you know, and we are the center of the world, and we, you know, if you are the perpetrator of slavery, negativity, racism, or whatever, you do it if you want, but you're never going to have peace. When you lie down in your bed and no one's there, when you're driving in your car by yourself and you're all by yourself, you're going to be thinking about the horrible things that you're doing, right? You're not going to have peace. And that's why the world is the way it is, because so long as there's that imbalance going on, then there's always going to be people that have to look over their shoulder, and there's always going to be people that all kind of be angry, getting ready to get those people who have to look over to their shoulder. That's imbalance. That is not what the planet is here for, and that's part of this whole third density that's just gone now. That's really what that was about, and where we've ascended to now as a planet. There's no room for any of that nonsense now. You know, there's no room for any of that nonsense now. And so we just have to align to it, because many people have decided, I just need to go now. That's why there's been many people dying. People have just, because you choose when you come in and you choose when you go, right? And how you go. So that's another thing I don't say too loudly, because some people think, I didn't choose to get killed, die like that. But actually we do make those choices, right? And I keep telling myself every day, when I'm ready to go, I'm going to be very, very old, and I'm just going to lie back in my bed nicely and then not wake up, and I'm just going to be ready and everybody's going to know. But I keep telling myself that, so hopefully that's what will happen as part of my affirmation. But you know, it's important that we do the work now. You know, I don't even know what question I was answering. I can really talk. That's why I was so relieved when she said I got an hour. I thought, yes. I'm going to be doing a talk with the 3rd of July here. We're on the Garvey Village on a Friday, and that one's going to be I've only got 20 minutes for that, yes. And I'm going to stick with it, and then 10 minutes questions and answers, and I'm going to bring this work that I'm doing down to just looking at the manifestation. You know, manifestation is about, this is what I want to do. Oh, look, I've done it. That's simply what manifestation is in simple terms. And most of us have an intention, but somehow what the intention hasn't manifested. Why? So there are certain particular steps that one has to go through in order to make things manifest. And what we often find is that it may be one step or two of the steps, a step right in the middle, the last final step, or even the first step is the one where we've got those blockages. So if we identify what the 8 steps are, and then you can, you know, we can do the clearing together, or well, I can't do it in 20 minutes, but I can help you to recognize maybe for yourself, that's the step that that's why I normally get stuck when I'm trying to get things done. You know, so that'll be a very quick bang, 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 bang. And it's kind of based on this work, but it's bringing out specifically the issue of manifestation. And manifestation simply means, you know, seeing your goals and intentions realized successfully. That's what it means in a nutshell. So that 20-minute talk is going to be specifically looking at that. That's going to be a real challenge. I'm looking forward to doing it, actually. That's just one aspect of our lives. Yes, sister.
No, so that's absolutely brilliant. Has anybody else got any questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to just find out, could you leave your details in the chat for us? Because it's really insightful. Pretty much like the other lady, Sheila Johnson, I'm also connecting to what you're saying.
Oh, wow.
On such a lot of things.
I see your lovely nods. It's always encouraging.
Yeah, quite a lot of things. And in fact, you've just kind of capped a lot of unanswered questions that it's more of a knowing, but don't know why I know it. Don't know why I've gone this way. I don't understand, but you've just made a realization that there is something. I know it's not mad or anything like that. But you just know there's something tangible that you're supposed to be doing, you know. And pretty much what you've just said, the toxicness of what's happening with George Floyd right now. In a sense, as much as it's sad in one way, it's a kind of a moment to kind of sit, clear your mind, get rid of all the distractions that's pretty much part of our lives every day, where we don't have 5 minutes just to stop, breathe, and just clear our minds to kind of then receive the messages that you're supposed to receive, you know. Yeah, you've made a lot of sense, pretty much. So if we could have your details, would be great.
Yeah, I'm just going to put it up now. I was going to share it, actually. I didn't even end up sharing anything. I was just going to share it on the screen all fancy on my PowerPoint, but never mind. I'll just put it in the chat like normal.
Yeah, Very insightful.
My phone number and an email.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. Is it Nkechi?
Nkechi. Yes.
Same what sister Cheryl said. It's so much connection is like, I do this but why and how come, and all the other questions is behind somewhere in your head, but you just do. I used to say to my daughter, there's things that I say and have said in the past, but it's manifested. The reason of it comes later.
That's right. Sometimes you don't know, but you just
don't know why.
That's the discerning bit. That's where you discern. You just think, I need to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And she, in the past, she's always said, Mom, why? And I'm like, you know me, I don't know this particular thing.
But you look
if it's a spiritual thing, it's a spiritual thing. I'm not talking about why I walk out the door and go to the shop. I'm not talking about regular stuff. I'm talking about spiritual stuff.
Sometimes even that's the reason. Sometimes even that. I remember there was a time I was going to go out, and all of a sudden somebody just said, don't go. No, you can't go.
Yeah,
but I want to go. Because before I really was I'm more obedient now. But then it was like, no, I need to go. I got in that car, and before I was anywhere, the brakes went. And I was like, oh, and I could see this grey car ahead of me. And I didn't want to crash the car. So I ended up going onto the curb and crashed into a lamppost, for which they charged me. But at least I didn't crash anybody.
Oh, wow. I just think it's also a level of recognising those messages. And I think I've always recognised it. You know, pretty much when friends would say, gosh, where did you go? Oh, have you looked at something? I'm thinking, no, I don't even know. I don't even sometimes remember I've said it, but I know I said it at a certain time, and then maybe a couple of days, there it appears on the news. And I'm thinking, well, I've not connected it to anything like that, but you know, a few friends.
Power in the tongue.
Yeah, and to be fair, you used the word that a few people in the past have said, discernment, and I didn't even know what the word meant. And I've never in all the years looked it up until I said to a friend, I've heard this a few times from friends saying, Cheryl, you're really spot on, you know this. And I'm like, well, I don't know why I know it. And then they explained what discernment meant. So you using it today, I'm nodding my head all the time, because I'm like, yes, and yes. I get it now. So I know it's not anything to frighten them. I know that whatever it is, it guards you, it protects you, it puts you in the right lineage and the right path.
You just know, and we've got the ability to know. We have got the ability to know. So you just have to live it, you know. And children have it. I watch my grandson, and he just knows everything.
Yeah.
He just knows. He knows what you're talking about. He just knows everything.
Yeah.
And I just keep thinking, you know, I think I'm going to homeschool him, because I don't want him to go to this school and then knock out of him. You know what I mean? We do have that that inner knowing. We just have to really
but isn't that an essence of when you're either reincarnating into another body, the soul energy that comes in? It's a kind of, you come with that level of knowledge which children have to up to about the age of 7 or 9, and like you said, then they go into school and they're indoctrinated with other stuff, and that energy that they used to have, you know, like if you watch a child playing in a room and you're talking to an adult, the child's filtering it all in, you know, and pretty much you'll think you need to turn around and have to explain something in ABC steps, but the child's understood it, and it's kind of telling you, you don't have to give me all that spiel, I know exactly what, you know, that sort of thing.
When you're talking about him, he just stops to listen. You haven't changed your voice, you haven't turns it into a baby voice, like when you're talking directly at him, but he kind of suddenly he knows it's all about him. Stop playing so nosy. So funny.
So yeah. But very good. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you too. Thank you, everybody. I've left my email, alt4000@gmail, and my telephone number there. So I really would love to hear from everybody. Let's do this.
Yes. Has anybody else got any more questions?
I do have a leaflet actually. I don't know if I can. Yeah, I do have a leaflet which I could put into the thingy-majiggy.
Has anybody got any more questions? While you're at it, sis, are you currently doing lessons, or would you like to be, as I said, collect names for those who's interested in doing?
Yes, please. I'm actually doing the clearing. I'm actually doing the clearings for people. Lots of it online at the moment. So obviously, people. It's nice when people come and see me and sit with me. And usually for the first session, I encourage that. But actually, you don't have to be in the room with me for me to do the work. You can be walking up Mount Everest in another country, and I could be doing your clearing for you.
Right.
But what's been happening over lockdown, we've just been doing it with Zoom really, and that or Skype. When Zoom wasn't as popular, I used to do it with Skype sometimes. If somebody was abroad, or because I do people from other countries as well sometimes. So I do that, but in terms of the actual teaching people how to do it, there's two kind of courses. There's the basic course, which is about 3 days, and it just teaches you the basics of how to do it, and you can start working with yourself. If you want to get to a stage where you're working with a client now, it gets a bit more professional and a bit more how you present it and whatever. Then after about maybe like 6 months to a year, you've practiced and really started to work with yourself, or maybe close people, and you see that there's results. So you can start to see that actually something's happening here, which it will do, then you can do the next course where you can start maybe like working with other people. So, that's about a 3.5, 4 day kind of like course, that one. So I'm ready to do those as soon as lockdown's over, really.
Okay, wonderful.
I'm ready to do those as soon as lockdown's over. I'm just kind of preparing those. I did have a website, but actually the beginning of lockdown, somebody hacked into the server of the person that hosts it, and my website's just absolutely down right now. So I think it was a good, everything's for a reason. My website always had a mixture of my education stuff and my health and healing stuff all as one website, and I think it used to confuse many people. But I'm kind of one of those, put it all together. So I think I'm going to redo the websites, and I'm going to do one specifically for the tuition I do with the children, and one specifically for the health and healing. So in the end there'll be 2 websites, which is going to be a lot more
question
work.
Is
yeah.
Or is it free?
Sorry?
The question was asked, is there a fee or is it free?
No, these things you have to charge for them these days. But gone are the days when the healer could sit on the corner of the street and everyone comes to them for healing, and then in exchange people bring them food and stuff. These days, as us modern healers, we have to pay mortgages and rent, and so we have to charge a money thing too. And that's an important thing. It's important for us to kind of compare yourself to, when you, whatever work you're doing, compare yourself with other people and give a kind of market price for what you do as part of your kind of self-worth, and recognizing, you know, money is just energy like anything else. So you give, you know, and the work I do is actually life-changing. So it's not a joke thing. So therefore you pay for it. You understand? So there is a fee for both the clearings that I do and the healings, as well as the classes that I'll eventually do. Yeah.
For how much?
The healings are between 85 and 95 for a session, and the sessions are about an hour to an hour and a half long. And it's on the leaflet. I've got it all on this leaflet. I'll try and get the leaflet into that. Oh yeah, file. Yes, I think I'm going to try and get that leaflet on the file. Or if you email me, I can just, if everyone can just email me, I can email the leaflet to them, because I haven't quite worked out how to get it onto this thing. So yeah, they're 95. I haven't set the price for the clearing yet. I think it will probably depend on where I end up doing it. If I end up doing it in my own space here, I can charge probably a bit less than if I have to go and hire somewhere to do the classes. Yeah. So I haven't quite set a price yet, but back in the day when I was doing them regularly, they used to be about, for the 3 to 4 day course, there was somewhere between 300 to 350 for those 3 days back in the day when I was doing them regularly. Yeah, so those are the prices.
Okay, about price now that we'd have gone up with inflation.
No, those are the prices. I've not. Oh, what do you mean? You mean for the course? You mean?
Because you said back in the day.
Yeah, when I used to do the course, I charged $350 for them. Yeah.
So that would be about the same price now?
I don't know. I said it depends on where I end up doing it. I think I probably can keep it at the same price if I can do it. Here's quite a big space. I know you can't see it because that's the background thing, but it's actually quite a big log cabin that I built back in 2014 at the back of my garden. And I do most of my work from here. And I think there's enough. I do Saturday school here. And I think there's enough space to just get, because I don't like the groups to be too big when I'm teaching, because it's quite intensive. So, you know, 5-6 people per course is enough, and that's more than enough space in here. So I'm likely to do it in here, which means the price can probably stay somewhat similar. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
enjoyed it.
Soon on the 5th of was it not the 3rd? The 3rd of July.
3rd of July. Yeah, so, the Friday, Marcus Garvey Village talk, Friday evening. 20-minute bang 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 manifestation. Yeah, the 8 steps to manifestation, and just clearing, recognizing what the steps are, recognizing where, you know, the bits of those steps that you find, oh, that's why I get stuck there, and just learning how to clear them, you know. But you know, having said all of that, I said, you know, you can still, because you've got this knowledge now, even without me doing anything, you can still somehow use it in your thought processes, when you're going about your daily business, when you're meditating, whatever, you know that we're working with the high self, the part of us that's all knowing. So you can actually start, you know, just start to align yourself with that aspect of yourself, because we all have one. It's not just me because I do the work. We all have that aspect of ourselves, and then you can start to, you know, just see how you can work and start to really recognize the help that that aspect of yourself gives you, and helps you to become, you know, to know. So you can make a start. Hopefully I've given you enough. But you know, email me or text me, and I'll send you my leaflet, which has a bit more of a summary, and I'll be happy to talk to anybody about their own stuff if they want to.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Hopefully, in the meantime, you can still just have that understanding as you go about your business, you know?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie Jean, for letting me do this. I'm so grateful.
Long time coming.
Yes, it has been. It has been.
And
yeah.
move on quickly. I asked her to come on before. Sister Queen.
Hello.
Hi, introducing Sister Queen. The screen is now yours, my sis. Quickly.
Oh.
Hi. Hi everybody again. I just wanted to say Nkechi. At the beginning of your session, the negative energy, the enemy, whatever you want to call it, was preventing you from getting this presentation out, because it was excellent. Because I was being hindered and somebody's, left because of the hindrance.
Yeah.
But because of what you had to present, that's why it was so, it was a spiritual attack. And that's why you was trying, it was difficult for people on the receiving, well, me and I know a couple others. But
that sometimes happens,
Yes.
But you have to keep pushing forward. What I do, I just stay focused. Keep moving.
That's right.
Pushing forward. Keep
Yes.
moving.
You have to keep pushing forward, because there will be people on the receiving end who say, what's this about? Or but from the time we persevere, or I persevered, and really hear what you're saying, it was like I needed to hear that.
Yeah.
So yes,
it even happens in my radio show sometimes.
It would, because of the topic.
It's like, when I'm coming with it, and just as you get the numbers up, it's like all of a sudden the video goes down. I just put it back on again, but back on. That's why sometimes there's all 2 videos for one. It was 4 videos for one show. I'm right back at them again to the side of dropping me out.
It was simply because of the topic. I know that, being a spiritual person. But that's not why I'm here. I am here to present to you, those of you who don't know or have heard about it but didn't know. Can you see this? Pharaoh's Unveiled.
Just tilt it a little bit, so because the reflection is.
Yeah, you have to tell me.
Yeah, down a bit.
Then over to your, what I think might be your left.
Tilt it back to you. Tilt it back. That's it. A bit more. Bring it forward a bit more in the middle, but tilt it back because the glare of the computer. That's it. Now we can see it. Pharaoh's Unveiled.
Pharaoh's Unveiled by Menelik Shabazz. This is his newest DVD that came out last year. And I'm the ambassador, and I have a few to sell. So those of you who didn't get a chance to see in the presentations last year, you can have your very own copy now. And if you want to, just put your information in the chat, or I'll put my, no, sorry. I should have done that before. Put my information in the chat if you're interested. It's 98 minutes, and it's a good thing it's on DVD, because when it's very intense, the information is very intense. It's a documentary film, and it explaining about the spirituals, very connected to what was said about the ancestors. Ancient Kemet ancestors is the topic, really. Talking about relationship and healing thyself. So those who's interested, please let me know, and we can arrange, and I'll send you one, the £12. But depending on where you are, it will be added to the £12 for postage. Okay? That's it. And there's also a clip, actually, depending how long we've got, I can put the clip. It's just Pharaoh's Unveiled in YouTube. You've got it. He's done it's more than a trailer. There's a trailer on YouTube, but there's a 8-minute long, which it's very informative in the 8 minutes.
Okay, have you got that now?
No, but that's what I was saying. I could have typed it. I'll type it in the link in the chat, depending how long you are. But it's on YouTube, so it's just Pharaoh's Unveiled.
Okay.
and you'll see the 8 minutes.
Okay.
And maybe next time we can get Auntie Jean to play the 8 minutes.
Yeah, most definitely.
In the break time, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll leave it for you to do that on a regular basis. And just a little 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, just a little 1 minute. Next time on the 7th, is it 7th of July? The next Auntie G meeting?
The 5th.
We will.
That'll be the
What
5th.
day?
The
5th.
Sunday
Sunday
the 5th.
the 5th. Okay.
Sunday the 5th.
There will be a, got nothing to do with the DVD really, but there will be a presentation just been confirmed this evening of somebody who will be talking to you. Well, I'll be there as well as a support, but talking to you of how you can get another stream of income and probably work yourself to be the only stream of income just by using your phone.
Okay.
So if you've got your phone and if you've got internet, you've already got the tools to start.
Wonderful.
And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Queen.
Thank you. Just say you will be seeing a little bit more of Sister Queen on the African Culture Market in the near future. Anybody got any last quick questions? I've got a little short video, about a minute and a bit, that I'm going to play. But
it's not a question, but I've put my leaflet into the as a file now.
Oh, well done.
So you can download that.
You can just unload. Yeah, if you can click on it now, you can just unload it.
So you can download that to your computers.
And that's got all the information on it, including my details.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Great. All right. Done that. And no other questions for anybody? No? Okay. Then I shall put this young brother on. Oh, yes. I'll put this young brother on and then say thank yous afterwards.
I don't have long to be up here. My father would say I have enough time to make a sandwich. I wish I could speak a meal, but they only gave me so many seconds. But I just want to take advantage of this moment. About 5 years ago, I lost my wife to a brain aneurysm. And I remember sitting in the same auditorium just like you, where we were in Indianapolis, and me and her were sitting here, and I was watching a man come up there also and talk about how he lost his wife. And as I was sitting there in the audience, I was only married for 30 days at that moment. And I didn't know 11 days later I would lose my wife. So my job, we won't all, because I realized that death is a thing that happens in life. It's not a thing that happens to life. So my job is to go and tell everyone that is living to make life count. Make it count. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. And as you breathe today, when was the last time you took a big, deep breath? As I pulled my wife's monitor off and she took her last one, right now, take a deep one. Let it out. As long as you have that in your body, you got the Brady effect. That at any moment, I got time on the clock. I can come back at any moment. I know things happen in my life, but I can make a change at any moment. So I came here today to tell you, to encourage all of you that's going through a difficult time, that trouble don't last always. That I've never seen a cloud sit over one person's house for a long time. This too shall pass. It has to. So my job today to tell you all while you're here to endure this thing. We've been made to endure the night, but our joy will come in the morning. Thank you, guys.
Brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I thought that would just tail on nicely to what you just said as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant to hear him say that. It's so true what you said, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Now is the time. And remember, when you're cleaning up your house and renewing yourself, you're not going to leave the bathroom out. You're going to do everything. So get out there, do your walking, drink your water, eat properly, eat what's right for you, you know, give out the love that you've got to give, share, you know, help people. Anything you've got to do, outstanding projects, get them done. Just keep going and reach out to others if you need help. You know, don't have to do it by yourself. You don't have to be alone.
No, very true, very true. And thank you for Lyndon. I hope he's enjoying the rest of his evening with his you know.
So proud of him, man. So proud of him.
Yeah, and thank you so much. And as I said, we've had as I said, the spiritual attack. So basically, on that basis, I ask you to come back to do the same presentation again in the near future.
I'm quite happy to. I'm quite happy to.
As I said, those who persevered and stayed, you know, got information, and those who went obviously didn't really quite understand that. You know, sometimes you have to go through and listen to a lot of kerfuffle to get through to the message, and you're not willing or you're not open enough to understand that there's different forces and different things that gets in your way, then your time to get the message. Can say
that's what happens. But people that know would know.
Yes.
You know, people that I'm always a believer that whoever's here is
meant
the one to be here.
To be here.
I've kind of looked so small. It's not mainstream work at all. So it's going to be just a few people that would get it, open to it, stay with it. Understand the bigger picture behind it. You know, it wasn't easy in the beginning because I was so excited by it when I first learned how to do it. I just thought everybody's going to do this, and then I soon learned that actually it's not quite the case. You know.
Yeah.
You know, so I've had to learn to kind of just be patient, really, with the process and the progress. And not, and again, it's your ego that says, well, I had 40 people on my talk. You know, if I had one person and the person understands that, I've kind of learned to be happy with that now. But it'd be nice to have 40 one day. But you know,
there's a scripture that says your gift will make room for you.
Yes.
So you don't need to be. It doesn't matter who's there or who's not there.
Yeah,
it's about who will receive it.
Yeah, I'm kind of used to that because even with the roots music, even in my radio show, it's always got a potent message. I always have a theme that Spirit gives me, and then I do the show, and it's fairly popular. But you look at other people that play music that maybe don't have quite the message, but have the jump up kind of vibe, and you know they've got all 15,000 views, and I'm kind of happy with my 4,000 views, you know. So it's like, okay, that's fine. This is not mainstream. I'm just not a mainstream person, so you just take it as it is, you know, and be happy that I'm kind of happy with the path that I'm on and the people I meet along that path. You know, it's just such a wonderful thing. So that's
wonderful.
Yeah. So thank you, Sister Jean, for letting me be here. Thank you.
That's wonderful. No, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your time with us, because I know that time is precious. And we thank you for sharing your information and your knowledge. Thank you, Sister Nkechi. Thank you very much. And thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Sister Queen. Thank you to everybody who's still here. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Auntie Jean.
Even the silent listeners, thank you very much.
Yeah. You can unmute yourselves and give Sister Nkechi a clap.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sister Nkechi.
Nkechi. Yeah.
Yes. Did you have a question?
No, I just want I want to find out her details. I don't know how to look it up on Zoom because I've never checked.
Just go to the bottom of your screen and you see chat.
Okay, thank you.
You see that?
Click on chat. Maybe you need chat
I haven't got it. It's on my phone. Maybe.
Oh, I was going to say, is it on your phone?
Click on chat on your phone, touch the screen, and chat should
It
come
doesn't
up.
give me a chat.
It doesn't give you a chat. Has it got a couple of screens? You've got a couple of dots so you can move the screen?
Yeah,
I mean, I can just give out my number. I can give out my number because I can give you my number now, sis, and then you can text
okay.
me.
Yeah, I'll be grateful for that.
Yeah, the number is 07 444.
Thank you.
722
722
918.
918.
Yeah, that's my business.
Much appreciated.
Yeah.
My daughter's interested in something like what you're doing, so I'd be really glad to tell her about you.
Yeah, just send a text with your email, then I can email you anything. If you've got a question, you can just ask. You know?
Thank you. Thanks very much. It was lovely listening to what I just needed to hear that.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm honoured really that you're here to listen.
That goes to show that those, you know, who need to hear do hear. You know, on the, you know, and you hear at the right time. And there's always the right time.
Yes.
You know, if you're meant to be, you've been one of the ones who's dropped out, or you know, you wouldn't have seen this session.
That's right. That's right.
So those who are here are meant to be here.
Yes, that's true.
And glad the message got through. Okay. All right. On that note, unless there's anybody else last minute, because I'm gonna be wrapping up. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you so much. And as I said, it wouldn't be possible without you. So I'll be here talking to myself and the presenters, but now we have an audience. Even if it's 2 people, it's an audience.
That's it.
So